Why do you talk like that?
Yesterday, before it was almost dark,
Oops.
I looked out the window and I could see Ma standing near the blue gum trees.
Please,
Never
don't.
mind.
Tonight, I could hear her nails scraping
Just
against the
forget
roof.
about that, shall we?
Stop it.
Sometimes I hear her breathing.
It's just the wind. I've told you, flapping against the window.
But it's not. The curtains, they
this
flap
is
and
not the
flap.
way to
It's
start
because she's
today.
angry.
So we're going to start it in a different way.
This
This
give me
way.
the show output, Rob.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder. I don't know why Dieter. I do know why Dieter is coming up in the background. There I am from 1987. That's me. You're right. You're pharaoh of physical media. Robert Meyer Burnett. I forgot to do something. See, there's always a technical difficulty. It's an early show. What can you do? Don't blame me. I'm Robert Meyer Burnett. You've glimpsed him. You know him. You love him. You haven't seen him in a week. You know what happens when you don't see a German in a week? You don't see a German in a week, you feel empty inside. You feel as if there might be wars across the world that you don't know anything about. And because you've missed your German, you feel unsettled. You feel that inflation is up, unemployment is up, there's been no job growth. But you know what? All that ends today because I have that German. I have that man who left a void in your heart all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Mr. Dieter Bastian.
Well, Rob, I'm glad to be back after a week. We took the Easter weekend off, and we have a lot of news that were coming out in this 14 days, Rob. Will we get our physical media through the Straits of Hormuz? You know, will we get our Dune tickets for less than $1,000? A lot of newsworthy stuff. But there was one thing, Rob, that happened in the last 14 days, put a smile on my face,
Really?
and restored my faith in humanity. Seeing this floating in zero gravity, that, Rob, that puts a smile on my face. What better promotion for a product that you didn't even pay for? And if you don't have this in your household, we can't be friends anymore. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here I am, Rocky like Erican, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, where we are back from our Easter holidays with physical media. And it's always good if we take a break because we have then more stuff to show. Because we are a little early, it's Saturday, we can't tell you anything about box office numbers, but we can talk a little bit about movies that are playing. Because Rob messaged me. He went out to the theaters, saw a movie that we already showed here on Let's Get Physical Media, because the Japanese edition is already out. The movie played in some festivals last year, and Neon distributed the movie today. And Rob had not a good track record this year, considering video game adaptations. Turn of Silent Hill fell through for him. Iron Lung was not his taste. So Rob, Exit 8 is finally out in the States in theaters. Tell me a little bit about it. Do you like Exit 8?
Well,
and tell the people what it is about.
So Alvaro and I...
I show perhaps the addition a little bit. No,
Yeah, so Alvaro and I have been going to see double features. And this week we went and saw this, and we went and saw a movie I can never remember the name of, Hunting Sarah Marshall. It wasn't Sarah Marshall. It's a Canadian film that is very much like Shelby Oaks. So we saw Exit 8 first, and I have to say I really loved Exit 8.
You do, Rob.
It's based on a very short Japanese video game, and it's basically about an everyday Japanese young man going to work. He's in the subway. He he's not paying much attention. His girlfriend tells him that she's in the hospital, that she's pregnant. And he's listening to this, and he's trying to come to grips with it all. And he walks just down a tunnel, and he gets stuck in the subway tunnel. And it's like it's an endless Mobius loop. And he sees a sign, and the sign says, it looks like it's always been there, if you see any anomalies, turn around. And that's all you need to know going in. And I have to tell you, I thought this was brilliantly done. You know, it's a very simple premise, but it was brilliantly done. It actually turned out to be fairly emotional. It had a great emotional payoff. But when I was watching it, it was really creepy and weird. And what's going on? And it got to the point where the audience was a little bit ahead of the main character. The audience is like, no. Like, and we were learning as he was learning. And we would see things sometimes that he didn't see. I mean, it was a movie, so it had to, but I was fascinated by how it was done. You know, like, I want to know, did they build a set of this where he was trapped? Like, it's basically a circle of a square circle sort of. And I really loved it. And I'm really glad that I got to see it in a theater. I think the audience kind of was into it too. Alvaro liked it. And it was a really good experience. I really enjoyed myself.
So,
and
were you were you like me, Rob, when he gets always around the corner and you were already thinking, what will the sign say? Go back to the beginning, or is the level up, so that the rules that the movie gives us are fine? And I was always right, Rob. Okay, level up, level down.
And the thing is, after each like Mobius loop, when he would get to the end of it, it would tell you either he's at the next level or not. And I remember the first time they did that, the first time it was a big drop. I was like, oh man, you know, and it was really, it had this built-in element of suspense to it, you know, and the way it switched off points of view, and it was really interesting. I have to get the movie. I really liked it a lot. And
but since you have seen it now, Rob, you should wait, because you know this is pretty expensive. This is the Japanese edition. It comes with English subtitles, but Japanese titles are not that cheap.
Right. Well, I love the box. You know what? If a movie comes out in Japan, I like getting it the movie if you can in the original. I mean, the Japanese always do such a great job with packaging and things like that. They just don't usually put English subtitles on their movies. Although Neon does a pretty good.
Rob. So normally we are spared the expense, but I was surprised to see it popping up in the pre-orders. Oh, it will have English subtitles. That is great. But it was not. I was not aware at that point it will come out in the States for theatrical distribution.
Yeah,
you know.
No, and it was great. It was great. I also saw. We didn't get to talk about it. I saw it last week. I saw the drama.
Correct, Rob. This was actually the next movie I wanted to talk with you about. I saw it too with my two nieces. We got lucky an English showing and had a really good time, Rob, because I heard through the grapevine there is some revelation considering Zendaya's character. And of course I was thinking, okay, what could it be? But I was not really thinking right, considering what she is telling Robert.
Well, now, what I thought about it, we had Alvaro and his father, who's visiting from Spain. We all went and saw it together, and we had a really interesting philosophical conversation about it after it was over. And you know, I was on the side of Alvaro, and I were kind of divided on this one. And I had said, look,
we need to be careful, Rob, for people who haven't
yeah, I'm
seen
not
it.
going to say I don't want to ruin it for those of you who don't know, but
Correct.
I said that, look, we are the sum of our good decisions and our bad decisions. And when you meet, like in my mind, when I have met a woman that I'm interested in, or I've had a relationship with them, I just assume that at whatever point that I've met them in their life, they are a product of both the good and the bad decisions that they've made. It's brought them to that point. I am not interested, and I feel this way not just about women, but about men too. I'm not interested in hearing about something you did in your past that might be bad, that 15 years ago, I'm going to sit there and condemn you for it. Because obviously you had half of your life to contemplate this and get through it and change. Well, Alvaro's dad was kind of more neutral, but Alvaro's like, no, this was a terrible thing.
Okay.
I couldn't get past. And so I'm like, if we were to sit there, I mean, our justice system works in the United States, when you go to prison because you've done something horrible, you've paid your debt to society. And when you get out, I mean, it isn't this way because people don't have, they can't get past it. But it's supposed to be that you've paid your debt to society. And, you know, if you've been incarcerated for 20 years, I mean, I would say you've had a lot of time to contemplate what you did wrong. And when you come back out, if you're an ex-convict, you can't vote already. But to condemn somebody after they've served their time, and this person in the movie didn't actually do what they contemplated doing, and yet everyone's condemning them for it. And it's like, but you didn't do anything. You might have thought about it. I've thought about doing a lot of terrible things in my life, but I'm a well-adjusted human being, sort of. And you know, so it's like I haven't done them. But you know, if you were to condemn me for all of my evil thoughts throughout my life, and I think everybody has, that's what it means to be human. Yeah. We don't act upon them. But it was I thought we had a really interesting and very spirited ideological conversation in the end. And Alvaro's like, see, Rob, that's why you always go to the good side of human nature. You're always looking for the best in people. And I'm like, well, that's true. That is true. But when I realized that there isn't good in people, you always have to realize that.
Zendaya actually didn't do anything. Unlike her friend.
Who did something terrible.
Correct, Rob. I had a total very good time with the movie, Rob, and I had many laughs, Rob. Especially there is a word joke. I don't know how they will do it in the dubbed German version. You know, when they get to the photograph studio and the lady says, then we'll do this, then we'll do this, you know. There was a nice wordplay. I don't know. I will seek out the German version just to see how they handle that wordplay. But I had a great time. The only criticism for me, which has nothing to do with the movie itself, I think, Rob, this movie should not have cost 28 million to do. I know we get Zendaya, we get Robert Pattinson, each probably got 4 million perhaps, but for me, 28 million is a little bit a tough price tag for that kind of movie. I don't know if
I
see
agree.
It the same way.
I agree. I did think, by the way, Zendaya and Robert Pattinson knocked it out of the park.
Totally.
You know, you forget. I mean, look, Zendaya's everywhere. I understand that. Robert Pattinson, you know, Twilight Boy. It's like, come on, he's paid his dues. He's a terrific actor. So is she. And to see them, all of the acting was great in this film. Yeah. And the guy who directed this had made Dream Scenario before that.
Yeah, Dream Scenario was great from Christopher Borky.
Yeah,
he directed that too. This was already nice follow up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And I have really nice laughs with the movie. It's even with the subject matter, you know.
It got so towards the end. It got really uncomfortable. I was just like, oh no.
But in the best way, Rob.
Yeah, in the best way,
actually.
No, but what I loved to see was this was an adult drama. It was thought-provoking, it was compelling, and you know, I really enjoyed and it shows us, Rob, there can still be original movies. Yes.
You know? I never seen something like the drama, you know? So for me, totally awesome. Then, just the stuff that I've seen, Rob. Sometimes, Rob, like we say here on Let's Get Physical Media, a blind chicken finds a grain, you know? And I have to agree with John Campea. I saw Shrinking last season from Apple. Totally have a great time with it. Really a great series. The only criticism for me, Rob, is what you are always saying. There are just too many beautiful people in the show, and while they have emotional stakes, they have not really hardship. You know, they have big houses, driving the best cars.
Well, when you get
always
Parkinson's,
good weather.
Parkinson's is pretty big.
Yeah, correct. That's really, but considering hardships, you know, paying the bills, like you are now, something like that. So it's a little bit more in a fantasy realm for me. You know, but I had a really good time, was crying too. And I hear they are planning a season 4 with a time jump, which is nice because considering season 3, for me, it's already stuck the landing. I actually don't want them to go on. But
Right.
it was really a nice one. Then, this afternoon, Rob, I couldn't pass this up. Tommy Wirkola, the director of Hansel and Gretel and Violent Night, has a new movie on Netflix, and it's a shark movie, Rob. And it's not called Thresh, it's called Thresh. And I watched it this afternoon. It is good, but unfortunately, it has a very strong beginning. But then the second half, it unfortunately falls a little bit flat. Because the beginning, the setup, we have a hurricane, then there's flood coming in with sharks, of course. And we have, like we always say, the kill minute ratio is pretty awesome at the beginning. But then in the second half, you're left with characters that you assume nobody, unfortunately, will die, So the stakes are a little bit reduced, and it's only 78 minutes plus the end credits. And I felt the movie was rushed at the ending to get to some kind of conclusion, because the movie was actually planned for a theatrical release. Then Netflix bought it, and now it's on streaming. It's from Sony produced, so I don't know if there were perhaps production problems at the end. So I had a good time, and it has a great sound design. If you, like me, have a nice, decent sound system, the sound design is top notch on Thresh. So for shark lovers, for a quickie between, really nice. But Under Paris did actually the opposite. Under Paris gotten better over the running time and ended on a insane good note. But this one has a great start, but then it dips a little bit. And unfortunately, only good. So this could actually have done with a little bit more runtime. So then let me just see. We had the drama. Then I saw on digital what I would call a cheeseburger. You know exactly what you're getting. You get nothing more, nothing less. I saw Shelter with Jason Statham. You know exactly what you're getting. The only question is always, did you get a pickle more, or did they forget the pickle and it's just a hamburger? No, this is just your standard cheeseburger. You know exactly what you're getting with Shelter. Nothing much to discuss. You can watch it if you are in for a Jason Statham movie. And it's from the director up who did the 2 Greenland movies. The only what I love like to praise, what I need to praise, Rob, is the car chase that is in the movie, because you really have cameras in the vehicles and they're driving a really rocky Scottish road up and down. And I was myself considering, that is not really my kind of speed. So the car chase was really nicely done in it. Then, Rob, since we been away for 2 weeks, we didn't get around to talk a little bit about Paradise. The season finale. It was actually not really for me, Rob. It is a little bit, because you are always saying, Rob, you get one ask of your viewers. And that one thing was, in the first season for me, living in that underground city.
Sure.
But now you're getting, that AI super duper computer, and all the stuff on the outside was actually not really thrilling for me, because I was thinking, okay, why actually do you want to go in the bunker? It looks nice here. Rebuild. I didn't see any danger on the outside,
Well, but
so
the danger on the outside is that the Earth is going to reach a Venus condition. It's going to heat up, and everyone's going to die. But only Sinatra knows that. And the thing is that if you've been reading about quantum computing and all that, I loved it.
Yeah, I know, but for me it was a little bit too into the.
Now the real question is, did you watch this week's episode of For All Mankind?
Rob, like I said, I will wait until I get some episodes together. But did what you wanted them to do? To leave the end credits open.
They did. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to take credit for that, but I was very impressed, and it might have been Now, I'll take credit for that. They were listening to me.
Yeah, certainly, Robert.
But I was really surprised. I was really surprised. First of all, it's one of the great. For All Mankind, in my mind, has provided two of the great episodes of genre television in the 21st century. One was the last episode of season 2, and the other was this week's episode, Home, which to be fair was a totally radical departure if you really think about it, where you went into the past of the major character of the show, and you saw a part of his life that we've never seen before when he was a very young man. And if you're a fan of the show, the payoff at the end, dude, I've watched the episode. I'd seen it already, and watching it again, I knew what was happening. And at the end, there's a, I don't want to ruin anything. I'm not going to say what it is, but I just started bawling again. And a lot of it, here's the best part. So that last shot, because there are credits over the last shot. If you're a space fan, this week was the greatest week we've had in 50 years, except when they saved Skylab. In 50 years, for anybody who loves space, the exploration of space. The Artemis mission went off without a hitch. I mean, the photographs that they brought back, the solar, the eclipse was of the moon behind they're in front of the sun. It was unbelievable. I mean, everything was unbelievable. And I have to say, I was a little worried about the splashdown coming in at 25,000 miles per hour. It went off without a hitch. They hit the landing zone. I mean, it shows how science and physics, when properly implied, can work. And it was really interesting watching a lot of people talk about how, the haters. There's a lot of moon landing deniers, and all. It's interesting watching people cling to these weird beliefs that have been perpetuated. I mean, there were people saying, my favorite was somebody said that the rocket that lifted off was actually a balloon. I mean, it was, and to see, but you know what my favorite thing might have been? At one point when they're talking about the re-entry, they said that Artemis has to go 1701 miles. That's what it's going to travel in the 13 minutes when it enters the atmosphere to splash down. 2,000 miles, but they quoted the number 1701, and it was a graphic on the screen. 1701 is the Starship Enterprise, the naval construction contract, or whatever canonically you want to call it. I just thought, well, so they're the scientists at NASA pay more attention to the 60th anniversary of Star Trek than the people that were actually making Star Trek, which is it repudiates, Anyway, I won't even. But I thought that was cool. It was watching Artemis was an amazing experience, and watching, when you were watching those live feeds, just seeing how everybody from around the world was so excited about what was going on. And it was really nice to see that. And look, people are like, just like with Apollo, they had to test all of this equipment. They had to test it all to make sure it worked. Somebody asked, why didn't they just land? And I'm like, because they didn't have a lunar lander. The ship is the Orion capsule isn't incapable of landing. I mean, it's amazing to me how dumbed down our civilization has become when Google can be your friend. The keystrokes, you can find out whatever you need. But I mean, the pilot, all the astronauts naming the crater after his dead wife, all that stuff, or Reed's wife. It was an amazing experience, and it really took me back. When I was 5 years old, the last moon landing, I knew all the astronauts' names when I was 5. I loved astronauts, and watching this took me back to, it was having weird childhood flashbacks. It was so exciting to watch. What a great thing that we did. And for all the people that are like, why do we need to do it? It's like, fuck off. If if you're watching what Elon Musk is going to do, he's going to take all of his robots and the Boring Company, and he's going to build tunnels in the moon, and he's going to make a moon base and build data centers there. And
That's Helios, Rob.
yeah, for real. And my favorite thing is like you see people going, well, how come you can't see any satellites orbiting the Earth? It's like, do you guys know how anything works? I mean, it just reveals how stupid our civilization has become. Please, public education, please do something, because we have a civilization of morons that really need to start understanding science. I mean, if there's anything that this proved, it's that science is your friend. And when science and physics are properly employed, you can do anything. So
Correct. And I've seen a lot of Instagram stuff that's really funny, considering their landing. I saw them with the Sesame Street, the Cookie Monster, which was great. I had a great laugh with them, where he interviewed them. Really greatly done. So glad you loved Enterprise Paradise. For me, it was actually a step down, but the first season was so immensely great that it was tough to follow that certainly up. And one of my dearest and oldest friends has actually started, finally, to watching For All Mankind, and he thinks, Rob, it's one of the best shows he's ever seen. He's around season 3, and he can't stop watching For All Mankind.
Well, again,
totally understandable.
For All Mankind really does, if you know anything about the space program. And by the way, not to brag, but I might be going tomorrow before I go to CinemaCon in Las Vegas and watch the first 5 episodes of Star City, the For All Mankind spin-off.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
And
it starts immediately after season 5?
No, it goes back and retells the Russian side.
No, I mean the release date, Rob.
Yes,
I mean the release date.
Star City starts right after season 5 is finished. And For All Mankind's final season is in production now. And according to the Mike and Denise Akuda, I heard this through Bill Hunt, they say that the scripts are bangers. So...
Okay.
And I haven't seen the last 2 episodes this season, but this week's episode of For All Mankind will teach everybody why I love the show so much. It's very sad, but it's very uplifting, and it shows, the end of the episode shows, and I don't mean just the last shot, but if you know anything about one of our characters' histories and what you're seeing, it's just the most beautiful way. You'll see, but there was a surprise, some surprise cameos at the end that were just chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Awesome to know. Another movie that I've seen, Rob, and I think you liked it. For me, really fine one, but nothing extraordinary. I saw the Amazon production Crime.
I liked it. 101. I saw it in the theater.
For me, it was just that movie. It's fine on the action. It's fine on the thrills. But nothing really that makes it standing out from the crowd, because he is that nice, perfectly thief who's doing a lot of recon, but essentially is robbing people at gunpoint at the end, and doesn't want to use violence. A little bit strange for me. So really fine movie, but nothing for me really that stands out from the crowd. And then I watched something that Max was actually a fan of, or he said he quite enjoyed it. And I have to say, Rob, I was surprised too, because I saw the new Anaconda movie, and I quite, like Max, enjoyed the movie. Because I think the approach needs to be a little bit different. It's not a creature feature for me. It's more a coming of age for adults. Like Max said, you have a group of friends doing their own version, going out there, doing a movie. And I really had actually a good time and some good laughs. And I loved that Jack Black, which for me is a little bit overused and stuff, only plays at 8.5, Rob. He does not play at 12, which totally serves the movie fine. And for me, one of the greatest laughs, Rob, came actually from Steve Zahn. When we have a lot of movie critics or reviewers who always, this means that, this means this, the director has this in mind. And Steve Zahn had a little monologue about the metaphorical stuff that Anaconda, the old movie, stands for. It's about how we how we make our way through lives. And I had such a good laugh about that line when he gave that speech. And the other one that made me laugh, when Paul Rudd reads the script for the Anaconda movie that Jack Black wrote, and he finished it. It's a masterpiece. That's such a good laugh. And when he did a rewrite on the script later, you will get an Academy Award for this. So I was really surprised how much I enjoyed actually the Anaconda reboot. For me, it's actually a coming-of-age movie for adults, Rob, who are loving to do movies. So for me, actually quite surprised. And I actually canceled my pre-order for Anaconda. But when it comes as a Schnäppchen, I will purchase it, Rob. I will purchase Anaconda. But Rob, we have to put out a law considering trailers. Can we make a law that none what is happening in the last half hour of a movie should be featured in trailers? Because, the scene with the pig on his head, when I saw the trailer, I thought, okay, what is this kind of nonsense? But when I saw it in the complete context, it was actually pretty funny, I have to say.
Right.
So, but don't put stuff that is in the last half hour of the movie in your trailer. And I will leave it at that, Rob. I will leave it at that. Okay. That was the stuff that I have seen, Rob.
Nice.
So, no, only two more, Rob.
Uh-oh.
But so we can show actually physical media. This one, totally, Rob. People are always saying, I need to like the characters. I need to love the characters so I can get into the movie. For me, it's not a problem if I don't like the characters, if the story is
Me
good.
neither.
I watched Lurker from Mubi, Rob. If you haven't seen it, Rob, totally highly recommendation from me. It's about, let me just see if I can get his name. Hopefully I butchered it. Archie Medekwe, people who knows from Gran Turismo. And I first saw him actually in the Apple TV series C with Jason Momoa.
Okay.
He plays a pop star, and he gets to know a guy from a clothing store, and the guy from the clothing store is a big fan of his, but he puts that out, and he gets invited from him to go backstage a little bit, and then he tries to move into that inner circle of him. And they're both not really lovable people, but the mechanics inside his inner circle, and then there's stuff happening which switches a little bit. Who has the upper hand? Really great movie, Rob. I can totally recommend Lurker if you haven't seen it. Unfortunately, and that is a little drawback, the movie Blu-ray is just bare bones. So no audio commentary, not anything. I would have loved to get at least an audio commentary with it. But I can understand that this is not a 4K release because there's a lot of stuff, not a lot of stuff, but there's stuff in which is just filmed with a normal old video camera.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little bit of a older footage. So it's totally fine. It is just a Blu-ray. But for me, Rob, totally great recommendation. A movie of our time, considering social media and other stuff. Totally had a blast with this, with characters that actually are pretty flawed. Both of them. Lurker. Then I showed this, I think 2 weeks ago. I had a great time with The Rule of Chenny-Pen.
Yeah, I got to
with
get
John
that.
Lithgow and Geoffrey Rush. It plays an old retired or at a patient's home for older people because Geoffrey Rush plays a judge. He gets a stroke and then, of course, needs the help. And in that patient space, John Lithgow is a little bit of a, I would say, a nice bully or not a nice bully. And then it comes a little bit of a battle of wits. So this is really, really a nice one because I was thinking, considering the puppet that John Lithgow has, I always then think immediately of Chucky or something. No, this is not anything like that at all. So really, really nice one. The Rule of Jeremy Pen.
Jenny.
So this
Jenny.
was stuff that I see. Chenny-Pen. The Rule of Chenny-Pen. Really, really nice one. Really nice. Okay, Rob. I give it over to you so that you can start showing some stuff.
Well, Dietz, it's been 2 weeks, but it's been a very full week.
Yeah.
And I think I've got to start with this. You know it's a good day.
Ooh.
You know it's a
Warner,
good day.
Warner
You
package.
know it's a good day when you get a Warner Brothers box. Now, what I love about these Warner Brothers, so we do not get these in the United States. That Warner Brothers in the U.S. does not release. They release the movies, but they don't release these box sets with the swag. And I receive things like, if you watch this show, Lethal Weapon in one of these boxes. I got Constantine in one of these boxes. I will be getting Speed Racer in one of these boxes. Now this, by the way, I did open the cellophane because I did pop it in.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest 4K transfers I have ever seen. Ever. And it is, of course, Ben-Hur.
Nice, Rob.
Now,
Nice.
I had the Blu-ray box. There's a big box of Ben-Hur, and I watched it. We watched it for New Year's Eve a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what, this transfer is not good compared to new transfers. And by the way, I do not have, I do not feel the need to keep this packaging. It's not.
I know.
It's not an Obi. It can go away, especially because this cover is so rad. And then, of course, it has the steelbook, which I think this cover is better.
Correct.
And then
That's why we were not actually a fan of just getting the steelbook, Rob.
Right, and if the movie's important, you want it. Like I got even the Chinatown from Paramount, but it comes with this chonky boy. It's got all kinds of things in it. It's got posters. I won't unfurl them, like multiple posters, art cards, but it also has a pretty great book inside. And the book, it's got a lot of behind the scenes information, tons of photographs of the making of the film. Really great stuff. It's a really great package. And, for me, when I get an important movie that I've seen Ben-Hur in the theater in 70 millimeter. I saw it at the Seattle Film Festival in 70 millimeter. And for their 70 millimeter festival. So I'm a big fan of Ben-Hur. And I was telling Alvaro this. When I was growing up, I loved biblical epics. Because biblical epics to me, because a lot of them are, obviously were shot on sets. So I kind of felt that biblical epics had a science fiction quality to them.
The steelbook does not belong in there, Rob.
I was going to say, yes, that doesn't belong in there. Thank you for that. I just did that live and made myself look like an idiot, so that's okay. But so yes, so I'm glad to have Ben-Hur as this beautiful.
I need to watch
set.
it.
It's incredible.
And Rob, you can if you want remove the BBFC stickers on the front. You can remove them.
Wow! I did not know that.
You have to be careful, but you can actually remove them.
Wow, you really can, can't you?
Yeah, you can remove them.
Look at that.
Unlike the German ones, the big ones.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even know that. Of course, this movie won 11 Academy Awards, well deserved. So yes, and they come off pretty easily too.
Pretty easy to remove.
Wow, look at that! Now you've got the beautiful artwork unsullied. Thanks for that. I wouldn't have known that. I might have if I looked harder, but I didn't. So, I've noticed something in the background that you have behind you that I also received.
Yep.
Let me grab it. Now, this has been released before on Blu-ray. But this is from Radiance's new transmission label. This is Richard Rush's The Stuntman, which has one of the great pieces of key art ever done for a movie. This film is one of my favorite movies of all time. And
because of the location, Rob.
I saw it because it opened in Seattle, Washington. It was the first place that it ever played. And it played for like a year. And the movie is actually, if you've never seen The Stuntman, it's Steve Railsback, who stars in Life Force and Helter Skelter, plays an ex-con who is being sought after by the police, or we don't know why. And he actually literally stumbles into a movie being made. And the inciting incident is the main stuntman on the film is killed. And the movie is directed by Peter O'Toole, who plays a character named Eli Cross, who, by the way, a friend of mine took that name. He's a porn director, very famous porn director. He's been directing porn movies as Eli Cross because he's a big fan of this movie as well.
That's a career.
So this is a 4K transfer from Radiance, their label transmission. It is now sold out. You know, this box set is sold out. Yeah, it's sold out. I don't think they're going to repress anymore. But then it's all about the relationship between this guy, this criminal, supposed criminal, and Peter O'Toole, and what's actually going on. And Peter O'Toole turns him into the dead stuntman to sort of make sure the cops don't close down the production. And it's a movie about fantasy and reality. It's about movie making. Yeah. It's also got an incredible Dominic Frontieri score. I love everything about this, and you know, Radiance gave it their transmission label.
Yeah,
this is an incredible release of this film. It even has artwork. I don't necessarily think this artwork is great, but I've never seen this artwork.
But the cover underneath on the Amory, I quite enjoy.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of this release is just stacked. It's so wild to have this, and then of course you have reproductions of the original one sheet. You've got lobby card sets. You have the Obi, although it's hard to get the Obi off and not.
Rob, I put that one in actually the Amory.
Yeah, I had it
always in the Amory.
And then it of course comes with.
Because in the Amory you have easy space to do that.
Yep. So it's an incredible release from Radiance. So
because Rob, they heard us, you know. It's really actually small. So you can put it.
Yeah, you can put it in.
There.
So this is easily one of my picks of the year. The transfer looks incredible, better than the old Severin transfer. It's incredible, and I love having it. I'll get back. I will get back to Radiance in a moment. I got a box from Lionsgate Limited. Now, this doesn't come out for another couple weeks. My last essay for Lionsgate Limited was about the Ninth Gate. Here is the Ninth Gate. This is I love this. I love this steelbook. It's really it's kind of in there tight, but look at this.
Ooh,
Rob,
I thought it was completely the other way around.
No,
that its face would be on the steelbook. You know?
No. This is it's awesome, and this is embossed. It's raised. Yeah. They went all out on this, and it's you got your digital copy. Hang on.
Yeah.
You got the building at the end. I mean, this is a beautiful steelbook. I watched the movie. The transfer is way better. The transfer on this movie was always kind of soft. It looks great.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It sounds great. And you can go read my essay that Thomas Logan thinks I'm wrong about, but I'm not. He's wrong. Johnny Depp is not the devil. And if he was, the movie would make no sense. But it's another great release from Lionsgate Limited. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Lisa Stevenson, the absolutely lovely Lisa Stevenson. She got a promotion at Lionsgate. She is now a vice president. So it's always nice to work for people that are going up in the world. And so Lisa Stevenson is now a VP. Congratulations. And I asked her, I said, does that mean that we should now continue in all ways to address you as Madam Vice President? And she assured me, yes, I now expect to be addressed as Madam Vice President. Whenever you send me emails or missives, everybody will now call me Madam Vice President from now on. And I am happy to do that. No, she didn't really. She was joshing, of course, but congratulations to Lisa. Very well deserved. I think Lionsgate Limited. Oh, and by the way, she did tell me a lot of people have talked about how the Leprechaun transfer was not good.
Okay.
On their recent release.
Yeah.
She said they are going to replace Leprechaun.
Okay.
So there was indeed a problem that was caught. And I will say this, you know what? They might not have caught it before it went out to retail, but they have been very good. There was that snafu with American Psycho. They immediately jumped on that, and Lisa said that they're rectifying the Leprechaun situation. So look, I understand with the amount of, there's just not a lot of replication going on. There's not a lot of replication facilities and things but Lionsgate Limited is very quick to rectify those problems. And for anybody who's interested in what my next essay is about, I guess I can't say because it hasn't been officially released. But anyway, I will say this. I wrote an essay that tells a personal story about how I sort of insulted the director of this movie that is coming out in 4K, that hasn't come out in 4K before. And I'm proud, very proud of the essay. And Alvaro has written an essay about Sorority Row coming out. Oh, wait. They haven't announced that either. So, but anyway, oops. Sorry, Lisa, Madam Vice President. But yeah, so shit, I'm fired. But I'm a big fan of what Lionsgate Limited is doing. I mean, making these steelbooks. It's funny. I even talked to Brian Fuller. I said I sent him my essay on this, and Brian Fuller said he had never seen the film. And I'm a big fan of this movie, and I love the fact that this was high on the list of movies that Lionsgate Limited wanted to do. I got The Doors from them last month, and which I should have written.
And help me out, Rob. Imprint is putting it out in Australia in 4K.
Yes.
I think.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah, in the news section.
I didn't write an essay for it, and it's part of their Vestron Collector Series, but they also sent me The Stoned Age. So I really this movie's pretty funny. I don't know if I ever would have bought this movie if I didn't get it, but it's cool to have.
Never seen it, Rob.
And it's set in Torrance, dude. Torrance, California. And this is, I don't know which, this is, for those of you keeping track, this is Vestron Collectors Series number 38, which Lionsgate Limited has kept the numbering on, which is very, very cool. And I have not popped this open, so I'm sure it's just the same. But there's the Blu-ray. And that's very cool that they did that. So that's that. I got one thing from Arrow that a lot of people have been talking about. I haven't even cracked this open. The Toby Hooper's Salem's Lot limited miniseries. Now, here's the thing. There are multiple versions of Salem's Lot. There is the television miniseries that was originally aired over 2 nights on late night TV here in the States. That to me is really the only version. Well, I don't know why anybody would want to watch anything but that. But there was a theatrical version made too that's like an hour and a half shorter or something.
I was always under the impression of it is a movie, actually.
No, it was originally a TV miniseries. But Arrow, because Arrow is Arrow, put it all on there. Whatever you want to watch, you can watch Salem's Lot. This is chock-a-block full. It's got so much stuff. It's got the original TV miniseries version and the theatrical version and extras on it. And of course, it's got the O-ring, which they've started to add. Now, I haven't even cracked this up. By the way, on a totally black cover like this, having that matte finish, very, very pretty. You got to love Arrow. Again, this is another result of their collaboration with Warner Brothers and New Line.
Yeah.
Now, let me look. It comes with a sticker, a highway sticker. And of course, in case you hadn't bought it yet, it does have, they did put in an ad for Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
So let me see if it's got a reversible cover. And of course it does. Let me throw that in there because you know how we love our reversible covers. Let me just set it. And this reversible cover is pretty cool. I haven't watched this, but everybody's talking about how great it is. And that is the reversible cover.
Oh, nice.
And I will. Oh, and it also comes with, of course, a very extensive booklet, which always, thick. These are heavy. And of course, the poster has a poster. And I'll tell you, this miniseries is genuinely. I mean, I haven't seen it in, I don't know, 40 years.
Yeah.
This was genuinely scary. There's a scene in this movie where one of the characters who's been turned, this kid, comes to his best friend Mark's house, and he's kind of floating in on the fog, and he's like, it's like the second story window. Maybe it's not, but that's how I remember it. And he comes and he's tapping on the outside. He's outside the glass, like he's out floating in the air, and he's like, Mark, open the window. And it's, I mean, I remember watching this when it first aired, and I'm like, this is scary as fuck. I mean, and this is, of course, this was classic King. You know, this is King in his classic. I think Salem's Lot is his second novel after Carrie.
Okay.
Right? Maybe. So it's Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, if I remember. Dude, I've, you know, all the stuff I have put away in my head. I can't keep it straight as I get older. But
so was the miniseries a success, and then they decided to make a movie out of it? Rob?
Yes.
How did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, and I remember, you know, I haven't looked into this. I should Google it because Google is your friend. It was the miniseries was so scary that they didn't air it in prime time. Like it was broadcast later, like after the news, like it started at 11:30 at night or something. That's kind of what I remember as a kid. Like I remember having to ask for permission to stay up to watch it, which was wild. But again, haven't popped it in, just got it from Arrow. Looking forward to it. Another result. I mean, the deal they have with Warner Brothers, they're just killing it. So that's very, very cool. And along with the Stuntman, I did get 4 other releases from Radiance.
Okay.
I got the Inquisitor. Now, this film was remade recently, and Alvaro was telling me about it. I have not.
Yeah.
This is the original version, which I wanted to get. And, of course, you've got your Obi. So it's the Inquisitor, and it has a movie called Deadly Circuit with it. So another great, I mean, you know, these Radiance releases are amazing. Again, great booklets. They have reversible sleeves and everything. So can't wait to delve into this. Then, of course, because you can never, here's another movie I've bought 1,000,000 times. Daughters of Darkness.
Story of our lives, Rob.
You know, one of the great lesbian vampire movies. But this is from Radiance. You know, Harry Kumel's famous vampire movie. Great, again, matte finish box set. Really nice. Never have to buy this again. This is the definitive release in 4K. Here's the Obi that I put in there. It's got a great booklet. Here's the disc. You know, Radiance can make anything look classy. They put out Messiah of Evil last year. Was it last year or the year before? Their horror titles, they go all out on them. So, hey, to put right next to all my Jean Rollin movies. So there you go. From and then even though I have one of these already, Takashi Miike, Underworld Chronicles, big box set. Nice. Now this has Fudo that I already have in 4K. And if you've never seen Fudo is one of my favorite, one of my favorite movies. Again, an incredible booklet in here. And then you've got, I don't have this, Deadly Outlaw Rika. I've never seen this. I have not seen Agitator.
Takeshi has made so many movies.
So many movies. And then Fudo, The New Generation. If you've not seen Fudo, The New Generation, this movie is one of the greatest things ever. So, I mean, you know what? I already have it in 4K, and this is just the Blu-ray. Don't care. Wanted to get this box set. Wanted to get the Underworld Chronicles box set. So I picked that up, and why not?
He's a busy bee, our Takeshi.
A busy bee. And then my final Radiance title that I picked up. Now, this is interesting. Okay, here's how this speaks to a little bit of the insanity that you and I display on the show on an ongoing basis. So Kino Lorber put out Night of the Juggler on 4K.
Yeah.
And Max Allen Collins, when he joins us, is going to be discussing that this week. And I watched their 4K. I loved it. I'd never seen the movie before.
Me too.
I loved it. I thought it was...
Wait, you haven't seen it either, Rob?
Not when I got the 4K.
Oh, okay.
No. Or maybe I saw it a long time ago, but I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I watched. I loved it. I was like,
awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. Well,
you could never make a movie like this in today.
No way. No way. But how could I resist another transmission box set of it?
Awesome.
So, I mean, again, I like this movie so much that I wanted the primo, and again, what Radiance does is they've got, you open it up and they've got an O-ring of the cover. This is the original key art that Kino used. And then you've got another, more artwork inside. And this is their inaugural title of their transmission label. Yeah. And they just announced it. Well, we'll get to it later, but you got art cards,
the only thing, Rob, I'm not sure if I'm correct.
Another great book.
On the tech specs, it says there is a 5.1 remix, but it only has the original mono track. And I think, Rob, the Kino Lorber has that 5.1.
Yeah, I think it does too.
I could be wrong.
But I mean, that doesn't bother me.
This is totally fine.
Because I have both.
You have both.
But anyway, I mean, these transmission discs are, again, they're like Pokemon. Gotta catch them.
I was surprised about the movie itself. It's always forward moving. Great propulsion. Was surprised.
Incredible.
Was surprised about the pace.
Incredible. So that's my first haul.
Okay.
These were all the paid for movies.
Okay. So then I take over for my first haul. And I start with the smaller titles before we get into the big ones. I bought this, Rob, because it doesn't come with the usual German MPAA rating, or FSK, we say here. It has to go a little bit further. So then you get that black symbol.
Oh.
The Poughkeepsie tapes is from 2007. It's a mockumentary about found footage stuff of a serial killer. Actually never seen this. So this has not gotten the 18, Rob. This is a bit higher, but I just wanted to show it. But
yeah, it's a bit higher, I'll tell you that.
I can switch it so that the rating is actually gone. So it has a switchable cover. So we have no rating on the Poughkeepsie tapes. Then, while it was not, I quite enjoyed it, but I was expecting a little bit more because there was a little bit of hype around it. But it got a 4K release here and a Blu-ray. I bought the independent movie Primitive War for 4K, and the 4K is the mostly known poster artwork. Or is this just the Blu-ray, which is the 4K? Oh, the 4K is the Dino here. So I think there's actually talks even about a sequel. A little bit too long, a little bit. Actually, they should have gone showing less dinos and pushing the quality more of that CGI. But nevertheless, not bad. Primitive War. Then, in the Schnäppchen realm, about Kung Fu Panda, the second one, as a 4K from Universal, putting out all those movies in 4K, even if I love to watch those animated movies in 3D. So Kung Fu Panda 2. Then Blind Bite for me, Cat in the Bag with Walton Goggins, which I love to see. The movie is called Randy and the Mob. Don't know anything about it. The only thing it includes as a bonus feature an Academy Award-winning movie, The Accountant, which is an hour. So there are actually 2 movies on it, and it's even on the inside. There's a little bit print, but I don't know anything about it. So this is a Blind Buy, Randy and the Mob. Then, Rob, you had not a good time with the third movie of this female director, but I will give it a shot because I found out, I think over an Instagram post, wait, what? It's already out in the UK. So I bought it, but I haven't seen it, Rob. Will have to find the right time, It's always about calibration. I bought Alpha. It's already out in the UK.
Yeah, Alvaro and I saw that a couple weeks ago. I was not a fan. It's a very ambitious movie. It's a beautifully made movie. I just don't think it works.
From Curzon. It's from Curzon, 4K and Blu-ray. So you could actually switch it if you love this artwork more. But considering your review, Rob, I will approach it with caution, and I will need to find the right time slot for it. Because I loved her two previous outings, so of course I will give Alpha a shot. And it is out in the UK already.
By the way, I did too. She directed Raw and she directed Titan.
Yeah,
so
the Titan, richtig, correct. Rob. It says Truck 15, like Mark Kermott always refers to the BFC truck misuse, strong threat, bloody images, sex rap, and so on. Okay, but I will look for a blind spot for this one. Then the next one is the original to William Friedkin's Sorcerer. It comes out as a media book here in German in 4K. And the German title is actually Lohn der Angst. So this is the original.
That's Clouseau's The Wages of Fear that you can get from Criterion.
The Wages of Fear, correct. So this is a media book that they put out here. So really looking forward to see that original one. Let me just see if there's anything specific here on it. Okay. It just says, Rob, both dubbings are available on it. As much as I enjoy dubbings, So, 4K Media Book, Wages of Fear, Lohn der Angst. And I remember quite enjoying this one. Came out as Media Book 2 on 4K, but I haven't seen probably since the VHS days. It's from one of our B movie directors, Jack Shoulder, who did The Hidden. Renegades. It's Kiefer Sutherland and Lou Diamond Phillips. It came out here. But haven't seen probably since this is the more known cover for the movie. This is a 4K and a Blu-ray. Really looking forward to watching that again because I don't remember anything actually about it. So Renegades, eigene Faust, on your own fist, okay? Renegades, media book. Then more as a, was it a Schnäppchen? I hope so. You said a different title, but this is Sorority House Massacre from 88 films, actually in 4K.
Yeah.
And it comes with the Blu-ray 2 and actually a little, not thick, but actually a little bit of a booklet featured here as well. And I quite enjoy, actually, let me just see. Oh, totally forgot. Okay, why do we have a reversible cover artwork, but which is actually the same. Oh, it's just missing the label considering cult classics. So I have switched it to that one who is missing the slasher classics at the top. Then this came in today, considering Girls with Guns movies from Hong Kong. This is Red Force 3, actually, or AKA Devil Hunters. Most of those movies have very many different names considering their release. And I read on one of my websites, Rob, there is a stunt, an explosive stunt here at the ending where our main actresses got third-degree burns through it. But that's how Hong Kong movies were made back in those days. So really looking forward to it. And
so you're saying it was okay that it's okay that people got third-degree burns? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, actually not, Rob. But that's how Hong Kong movies were done back in the day. What can I say, Rob? and you can actually switch it out because I've already done it. I assume this was probably the old VHS cover, just assuming. So, but I switched it out to this one, which I quite enjoy a little bit more. So, Red Fourth 3. Then the title, Rob. I kept it, even if it was damaged, and I ordered it already anew from the company itself because Amazon, once again, like Max always said, you can have it today in shit shape. But I decided first to keep it until I get it again because on the Amazon website it was not available anymore. So I said, okay, at least I keep it for the moment. I bought from Cult Films their version of Suspiria from Dario Argento. And what I mean is,
Wow.
I don't know if I can make this visible, here, with the smaller packages, often you get those
Shout
scents
out to
because
Don May though. You gotta give a shout out to Synapse's Don May for that was his life's work to get that out in 4K, and he did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So give it up for Don May.
Yeah. So then we have the different cover. Underneath it, we have the 4K and the extras for it, and it's a limited edition of. Let me just see. Where was that number? I don't know about how many, but this is 417. We get a booklet for the movie, and I don't know if the transfer here is exactly the same as the American one. Then we have some nice art cards here for the movie, actually printed on both sides. Dario at work here. And we have the poster for it. So I have ordered it from Cult Films themselves on their own website again. And hopefully then the package will be in better conditions than what I have received.
One can only hope.
One can only hope, yeah, especially Rob. Considering the outside is a little bit flimsy, and you know how Amazon is packaging that kind of stuff. But one of my Asian online dealers is always packaging their stuff nicely. And sometimes, Rob, I get those cravings. I need another Korean title.
So your Asian online dealer, to be fair, these aren't like triads selling you heroin to sell in Saarbrücken on the streets to afford this habit of yours. And the habit would not be doing heroin. You sell the heroin from the triads to keep your DVD and physical media habit, cooking.
And then you browse, and see what is new, what is good. Have not seen it yet. It came in the mail today, but the edition itself is already great. I hope the film is worth it. The movie is called The Snitch or You Dang. So we have a little bit of a lenticular. I don't know if I can make this.
Oh, that's cool, dude. That's a great cover.
So we have a little bit of a lenticular front.
Sweet.
This is the back. Then inside, we get a nice steelbook, which is embossed here too. It's pretty heavy, actually. But it's not a 4K. It's just a Blu-ray and probably extras. The drawback is, of course, the extras are not subtitled, but at least the Koreans do subtitles their movie in English. And we get some extra. Always, I love those extra stuff that they put in their release. It's always nice little cards here. Always those nice little director cards, actor cards, character cards that they put in, and some more postcard form. Looks like a nice cops and robbers movies. And let me just see. There are some signings here even on the back for it. And besides those things, there is a booklet in here 2. So the movie is called, like I said, The Snitch. Not seen it. Going blind. Not seen a trailer or anything. Which is the best way to do it.
Yeah,
so,
baby.
The Snitch from Korea. Then my last 2, Rob. The first one, I think you said to me, that's a little bit really, I think you said a strange move, but I'm really looking forward to it because I got 2 from Indicator, and I quite enjoy the editions that I got. The first one is The Survivor. I bought.
That's, by the way, that's a movie that's based on a novel by one of my favorite British horror novelists, James Herbert, who has passed away, but his birthday was last week. I got to get that. I really want to get that. I forgot it came out.
Yeah. I think you said to me, this is a little bit of an odd movie. I know. Don't know. So we have what I like here.
Yeah. Indicator does a great job. Great job.
Inside. So here we have the 4K, and it comes with a nice booklet, actually pretty thick, I would say, for the movie itself too. So
you know what? We should have Let's Get Physical Media. We should get T-shirts that are printed that says it's got a nice booklet. And just
would be nice
just have that.
And I love that Indicator is actually not pretty thick here with the diggy inside. So it's actually a nice collector's edition, which is actually not taking up that much space. And the other one, which is from Indicator 2, not seen it. It's called Dead Kids that they put.
Yeah. Strange Invaders, right?
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Let me just see if I can find.
Am I wrong?
Title.
I could be wrong.
You could be right, Rob. This just says Dead Kids here. Okay. No, I don't find any other title. So we have.
Why am I thinking that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the wrong thing. Is that the Filipino movie?
Rob, you're asking me a tough question here. It's directed by Michael.
No, pardon me. I said Strange Invaders. I meant Strange Behavior, and that's it.
Okay.
It's called Strange Behavior. Strange Invaders was a movie they made after Dead Kids.
Okay. So Rob throws it away. I put it in here. Because Rob, you can't throw this one away because here we will find the limited number.
Yeah, this movie's great.
You can't throw that away. Okay. Nice to know, Rob. Nice to know. So, nice booklet here.
I'm losing it, man. I can't remember all this stuff anymore.
Yeah, Rob. It's getting heavy here on the hard drive.
It's getting kind of hectic, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Correct, Rob. So this was my last one, Rob. Dead Kids from Indicator.
Okay, well then I do have to, since Max hasn't come yet, he's probably waiting for us to finish this part. I got a beautiful box from Kino Lorber.
Ooh.
A beautiful box. And that left me weeping with joy at the end of it. So I got to start out and begin by saying, first of all, so again, just because they're DVDs did not mean you should be prejudiced against them. Nobody Against Putin, which is a documentary. They put out great documentaries on DVD. Yeah. They also put out, so Nobody Against Putin came in. Islands.
I think this is a relatively new one, Rob. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it was nominated for Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature. Yeah.
Correct.
Then this movie, Islands, not to be confused with The Islands or Islands in the Stream.
I'm interested in that movie, Rob. I'm interested in that. I've stumbled across that, but I didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's 5 stars. You know, it's at the Berlinale Special Gala.
And I think, Rob, it's out on Blu-ray here. In Germany.
A seductive mix of Patricia Highsmith and challenges. Yeah. This looks really, really good. So, don't know anything about it. But again, thank you, Kino Lorber, for putting it out and bringing it to my attention. And then finally, the Cohen Media Group, My Neighbor Adolf. I hope this isn't a story of your life. But,
yeah.
Left-handed
That
amateur
name
painter,
always that name always rings a bell.
contemporary classics. My Neighbor Adolf. As long as he's not your neighbor, it's all good. But again, normally maybe they'll send me a Blu-ray version of this, but this is another sub-label of Kino. They put out incredible stuff.
Yeah.
The Cohen Media Group. So those are some DVDs that came in, and then a stack of Blu-rays. I love when they send me this stuff because I get things that I forgot about. Here's a movie I actually saw in the theater when I was a kid. House Calls with Walter Matthau, Glenda Jackson, Art Carney, and Richard Benjamin. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that I would see this again? So there it is. And I remember liking this movie when I was a kid. I went with my mom. By the way, Ray, remember that movie I told you about, My Neighbor Adolf, that came out on DVD?
Yeah.
Well, it also is on Blu-ray.
Great. There you go, Rob.
So Kino
You
Lorber,
and your Adolf. You and your
there
Adolf.
you go. Okay, this is really cool. Kino has been putting out a lot of silent movies and things like that. This is just gorgeous. Douglas Fairbanks, The Thief of Baghdad, the original. Look at that cover. You know, they're putting out silent stuff. So amazing. I'm so excited to have this. They also put out something amazing. I don't know if you know like Phantomos and stuff like that, but this is
the French movies.
Yeah, well, the old ones too. The complete 6-hour epic by Louis Foulade. I have never seen this. This is Time In. Again, a great cover. This is actually from, I wonder if I have the date here. 1919. 6-hour silent epic. I can't wait to see this. Love that we have these. What a great, and then this one, The Man Who Reclaimed His Head, starring Claude Rains, Joan Bennett, and Lionel
cool
Atwill.
title.
Talk about Suspiria. There you go. So that, and then of course, Abbott Costello, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and Hold That Ghost, a movie I've seen way too many times as a kid. They put that out. And then finally, there is a box set called Malfeasance that they put out, which is this box set. It's got 5 films in it, or 4 films. Angel's Leap, Mad Enough to Kill, The Woman Cop, and Rise Up Spy. And this is, let's see how many discs are in here. 2 discs in here, 2 movies on each disc. But you know what's really interesting about this box set that comes to us from both Studio Canal and Kino Lorber? If you look on this, it says right here, audio commentaries by film historians Max Allen Collins and Heath Holland. So there you go. Malfeasance, 4 movies. And this collection features 4 films directed by thriller master Yves Boisset. So Yves Boisset 4-film set. Now, then, of course, not to be outdone, Kino Lorber always gives me a nice, healthy stack of 4K discs. This is wild. This is, I mean, I can't get the French Connection or Patton on 4K, but I can get Cindy Williams, Harry Dean Stanton, and Fred Ward in Euphoria from 1985. I actually saw this back in the day. I don't know if I ever want to see it again. Here's a great horror film starring George Kennedy and Richard Crenna from 1980. I don't know if you call it great. Ghost Ship.
Yeah.
In 4K.
Death Ship.
Pardon me,
wasn't it a remake later from?
It's a ghost ship that's also a death ship. You know, I looked at Death Ship. And then, of course, speaking of Fred
wasn't
Ward,
wasn't it remade later?
Yes.
With a little modern touch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it wasn't called Ghost Ship then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's got the wire kill at the beginning.
Yeah, correct.
That they recreated in the 3-body problem, sort of. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins with Joel Grey
nice.
and another Fred Ward movie. See, Kino's always putting together thematic 2 Fred Ward movies in one box, both in 4K. Then, of course, Billy Zane in The Phantom, a movie I actually quite
Now you made me jealous, Rob. Now you made me jealous. You have done it. God damn it, Rob. I want that. I want that now.
The Phantom,
one of my
in
favorite
4K
Laserdiscs.
with a reversible
Oh,
sleeve.
nice. And I heard, Rob, they put even some extras on it.
There's actually a couple extras. There's audio commentary by director Simon Windsor.
Nice.
There's Kismet in the Jungle. There's a new interview with Billy Zane. And there's Slam Evil
I love
scoring the Phantom with the composer.
Yeah.
New stuff.
I read those comics back in the day. And it was one of my favorite Laserdiscs
But
at the beginning.
it comes down to it. I mean, The Stuntman, one of my favorite movies. Probably the release of the week. But there is my last
What's coming?
video. It's been released before. Kino Lorber did put this out before. But now they put it out in 4K.
Oh, now I know it.
Now, I mean, they put it.
No.
Let's talk about this. A former Seattle Seahawk, an Oklahoma football star, in one of the greatest unseen early '90s action romps ever, with Lance Henriksen in one of the greatest heel turns of all time. You know it, you love it, and you know how much I love it. Directed by former stuntman Craig Baxley turned director. Following up I Come in Peace. Stone cold, baby. Stone fucking cold in fucking 4K. Fuck
yeah.
This movie is metal. It's also got a reversible sleeve. Now, people are going to ask.
He knows how to make action, Rob.
Craig Baxley knocked this shit out of the park. And by the way, in my upcoming Lionsgate Limited essay that I wrote, I do talk about watching movies at scale. And I compare it to golf. You'll have to wait and see. I know you'll be riveted.
Okay.
But this is, come on. You cannot, God bless. You know, the people at Kino Lorber, they know. The folks at Kino Lorber know. Because their eclectic mix of silent films, of foreign films, of LGBTQ films, of documentaries, of raiding Paramount's entire library because Paramount doesn't seem to care. You got to love Kino Lorber because all they do is bring joy. Kino Lorber Classics, Kino Cult. As they would say on Star Trek, the givers of pain and delight. You go, Kino Lorber.
That reminds me, Rob, I've seen the third Ilsa movie, and I'm surprised how much I enjoy those movies because I've never seen them.
Right,
and
they're you know what? And who brought them to you? In
Kino
4K.
Kino Cult.
Kino Cult. Kino brought the airport movies in a box set to us.
And the strange thing, Rob, for me, considering the Ilsa movies, I always heard, the first one has the iconic stuff from, World War II, and it's the best. But actually, Rob, I quite enjoyed the follow-ups more a little bit, Well,
yeah.
I was quite surprised. So only the fourth one is missing, which I read, Rob, was actually turned into an Ilsa movie, considering a character. So it's not really an official one.
Well,
it's
no, but sure it is.
Okay.
It's whatever you want it to be, Dieter. It's whatever you want it to be. So, the last one, the Tigers of Siberia, was actually nice because you have that two different parts. Because I was really surprised that the Gulag after 40 minutes was already up in flames. I was thinking, what are we doing now? Yes,
really nice. Really, I'm quite surprised at how much I enjoy those movies.
It's good stuff. We've got some super chats. Let's do some super chats since we've actually talked about physical media on this show, which is great. Kelvin Wellborn has been a member for 48 months. Kelvin, all the way from down under. Secular Monk has been a member for 31 months. By the way, I was going to have a member call, but we're still dealing with open houses and things like that. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. We'll know for sure. Will there be a new Raw Observatory or not? We've got it's a suspense. We're in suspense. 200 Watt Studio says, what are you guys most looking forward to seeing in the final season of Euphoria? Would that be the
Unfortunately,
Cindy Williams?
I have not seen Euphoria. Unfortunately, I have not seen it.
Dude, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, whatever. I read all of Bret Easton Ellis's novels, but I mean, Zendaya's good. What I'm looking forward to in the 3rd season of Euphoria, apparently it's getting horrible reviews. I'm looking for everybody who enjoys the show to find closure. That's what I'm looking forward to. So, 200 Watt Studio, you know what you should do? You should take that under advisement and then watch To Live and Die in L.A. again. By the way, there are steelbooks of To Live and Die in L.A. that I have to collect. There's all kinds of things. 200 Watt Studio goes on and says, Rob, if the moon landing was a Cold War race, why didn't the Russians ever call us out if they thought it was fake? Well, the Russians never called us out because it wasn't fake. That's why moon landing deniers. I mean, yes. No, we did go to the moon. Everyone's now proven it by showing the landing sites. And, hey, all of you people that said human beings can never get past the Van Allen belt, you need to understand how radiation works and how NASA got astronauts multiple times just recently, with Artemis 2, through the Van Allen belt. You also have to know what photography is and how it works. Why can't you see satellites? Why can't you see stars? Yeah, you know what? Google, again, is your friend. Danzig, 1979, has been a member for 27 months. Major Chai sent in 5 Burnettwork gift memberships. Major Chai's husband is going in. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him, but he's going in for a major heart operation. So thoughts and prayers go out to Major Chai herself, mostly her husband and her family. I'm sure he will pull through. My grandfather had a quadruple bypass once, and he pulled through and lived to be 97. So everybody cross your fingers and hope for Major Chai's husband to have a very they do these things. These operations we've honed them into a fine science, so I'm sure everything will work out. So I love Major Chai very much. Wish I'd met her in high school. We would have had a blast. Probably too much fun. Anyway, on that note, Stubble McShave sends in a tip. Just the tip. Stubble says, what are your thoughts on Paramount Global Publishing? It's a publishing company for books and audiobooks to work as an IP generator for Paramount. I'm of two minds. It's good that there are more publishers. It's sad that it's only for developing IPs. Well, here's something. Since you asked, Stubble, and you know as well as I do, as somebody who is a reader and loves storytelling, you can't. IPs are like cult movies. You can't will them into existence. Something becomes an intellectual property because whatever the initial thing is turns out to be great. And to sit there and have a mandate like we're going to try and find something that can be an intellectual property that we can exploit. I mean, in the past, they've called it transmedia. What they need to find is something that's great. First, find a great story. Publish the story. Find out if it catches on, if it catches fire, if people like it. You can't sit down and decide, I'm going to make the next Rocky Horror Picture Show. You will fail.
Yep,
you can't make the Rock. Everybody who's tried, they've tried and failed, they've tried and died. No, you will fail. And you cannot, we're looking for the next IP. This is the problem with ridiculously lazy corporate thinking. You cannot conjure up an IP out of thin air. You have to find one great thing, put it out, and get it in front of the public. Market the hell out of it and make sure people see it. If it catches on and becomes successful, then maybe. But this idea that you're going to create something, it can be video games, it can be TV shows, it can be a book, it can be an audio drama, you will lose. You will lose. By the way, speaking of that, I'll give you an IP. True Noir is an IP. It's available. We control it. Max Allan Collins wrote it, and it's great. We have 19 novels, 2 novellas. We've got a feature film script that we might have some news on. There's an IP. Has anyone called us? Nope. But I'm just saying, 19 novels. There's lots of great IPs out there that haven't even been turned into anything because people don't know what to look for. You can't conjure up something. So Stubble, that's my answer. Trying to get, we're gonna have an incubator for an IP. No, how about you have an incubator for one idea? That said, Dieter, I finished chapter 3. Okay, when I say I finished it, I finished the first draft of it.
Yeah.
I finished the 3rd chapter of my novel.
Ooh.
And I'm not using AI to write it, but I did use AI I structured it out as 24 chapters. And what AI is very effective in doing is I can change it at will and add things to it. I'm adding characters. To have AI be able to change my outline, because as I'm writing, I think of things and change things as I go, has been an unbelievably effective tool to use to help me write. Because I don't think I ever would have, because it was too hard to figure out what the story is. But if I can throw out my ideas, if I can work at the speed of thought, and I was able to beat out I got to tell you a wild thing that happened. This is wild, and I don't know how it. So I've had this idea for this novel I've wanted to write for years. It came out of a conversation with my friend Dave Hargrove, and I've always wanted to write a horror novel. So, and I've started writing it as a screenplay, and I've noodled with it, and so what I did was, I'm like, the part of the thing that is daunting is I don't know where it's going to go. I didn't know where it was going to go. Like, I had no idea what the full-on story is. I knew what the idea was. I had the premise. So I started using AI, and I was like, okay, and I just started working my premise through. And I'm like, I don't want to, I needed an outline. I needed a roadmap for this story. And as I've noodled with this for months, the outline, because I had ideas. And about 2 months in, because I've been using multiple chatbots. One of the chatbots, I think it was ChatGPT. ChatGPT, out of the blue, said to me, would you like me to create an interactive map of Los Angeles where your book takes place? And I was like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. And I asked it, and it said, well, you have your main character and all the events surrounding your main character. Then you have your secondary characters and all the events surrounding them. And then you have the events that are happening that your characters are unaware of, but they're happening around you. So what if I were to make you an interactive map that shows everything that's in your outline, and you can go to these events and you can just have a map, and you can, in your own head, you can figure out what's going on and what the relationship is. And I just wanted to see what it would do. So I'm like, yes, I would like you to do that. And then it said, okay, I've done that. Now, would you like me to color code the events? So the events that happen to your protagonist will be one color and this. And I just kept going, yes, I would like you to do that. And it finally finished. And it finally, I answered all the questions, it said, okay, your interactive map is complete. And it gave me like an HTML link or whatever. And suddenly I'm looking at an interactive map of the entire greater Los Angeles basin that has every single event that is in my outline and where it actually took place in the city. Because I was just making up, like, this takes place here and this takes place here and this is there, and then so I was just throwing all this shit out, again, speed of thought, all these ideas, and suddenly AI presented me with an interactive map. I didn't even ask it to do that, and it gives me this map of LA, and I'm putting my cursor over it, and I'm like, this is fucking wild. I mean, it was just, I never would have thought to do it, But what was really interesting was to actually be able to see where all the event, because I'm just saying, like, one point, like, my character lives in Silver Lake and he drives down to the beach to talk to a character that owns a restaurant on the beach, and it showed me all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, and then I wanted him to comment on something that I'd forgotten that was down a certain street, and I'm like, oh, I want to delve into that, and I'm like, I want to go into the whole history of this place and stuff, and just this little interactive map has made wild, dude. Wild.
So the interactive map brought you verisimilitude to your story.
Yes. You know why? Because when I started looking at that map, I was like, oh. And so I started adding, like, for instance, there's a place called the Soho House. It's a membership-only club. It was founded in 2010, and it's around the world. There's one in London and stuff. And I realized that my character is driving down Sunset Boulevard in this scene, and I'm like, I want to use the Soho House and comment on the destruction of the entertainment industry. So I started writing this bit about the Soho House, and then I started thinking, oh, what if my main character he goes and he meets clients at the Soho House? He's not a member, and the reason he doesn't become a member is he tends to deal with people that are members at the Soho House, because he knows that they can, if they're buying a Soho House membership, they can afford his services. So I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And that came out of that interactive map thing, and I put that into chapter 3. And so, yeah.
Nice.
60 pages, dude.
Okay.
60 pages in.
Okay.
Now, I've got 21
wait,
more.
60 pages and you want 24 chapters?
Yeah.
No, I'm worried, Rob. Well,
no,
but
if you think about it, I mean, it's really short. It's really short.
Okay.
Okay. It's really short chapters. I mean, it's short. The writing is short. So
yeah. Okay.
But yeah. But I'm excited because it's the one thing I've always wanted to write, a horror novel. That I've done everything else I've wanted to do. I've made movies. I've produced movies. I published a comic book. You know, I've done all these things that I've wanted creatively, and I never would have been a musician, but I made a little AI album. But writing a book is something that I've always wanted to do, but it's always seemed daunting because I didn't know. But using AI to beat it out, and the thing is, like, I decided here's something that happened. I decided that the protagonists are my main character has a girlfriend that loves him, but I just decided as I was writing this, I'm like, Ma, the girlfriend needs to have a really bitchy best friend that my protagonist does not like, that's going to cause problems for him in the future. So coming up with this, I go into the LLMs, the chatbots, and some, because it's very sexually explicit, you know, so some things I can't, like, you can't use GPT to come up with things that are sexually explicit because it doesn't let you do that. But Grok will. Elon Musk's Grok will. and I can get as sexually explicit as I want in terms of the outline. And I'll be like, okay, because within the chapter outlines, you break it down into outlines about different things. So I want to write a sex scene, and I want these things happening in the sex scene. Da, 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 da. And ChatGPT is like, I'm sorry, you can't say that.
Our road, our friendship ends here.
Yes. But it's been really, but I never had but having an outline, so knowing where you're gonna go, and then you can change it at will, and it just ripples it. I come up with an idea, I'm like, add this, and it goes all through the whole story. And that's when it started to ask me about the interactive map, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Okay.
So it's not doing the writing, and it's not making it into an IP, as Stubble asked, but I certainly am having a good time.
Yeah. To get back to the topic.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That was Stubble's. That's my answer, Stubble. So I don't think you can try and force an IP into existence. And I don't know where Max is. Maybe I told Max to come at 11. Yeah. Maybe that's what I did.
That could be.
Could be.
But
Might not be home.
We have some super chats left. Otherwise, we could
nope.
do
we're good.
the other stuff first.
We are good.
Okay. So, news? Live chat, Rob?
Okay, let's go to news. Now,
Okay.
a lot of people are going to... This is some Lionsgate news. But I want everybody to know that this has been an ongoing concern for years. And I want to say that the Lisa Stevenson, the lovely Lisa Stevenson, her husband, Cliff Stevenson, who produced like the special features for Brian Fuller's Hannibal, who's one of the great special features producers. He sort of
The Hunger Games.
Cliff has done, he's won multiple Saturn Awards. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. He was smart enough. He was high school sweethearts with Lisa Stevenson. They are a force to be reckoned with. I'm not going to call it his life's work because he has a lot of life left in front of him. But one of the things that Cliff Stevenson has wanted to do is upgrade Lionsgate's already impressive box set of Rambo. And Cliff never stopped looking for elements. And there were certain sound elements that they weren't able to get for the Rambo box set. But Cliff found things like 70 millimeter foreign prints that had different soundtracks on them. You know, whether it was 6 tracks, incredible stuff. So Cliff has spent, and this is years in the making, Cliff also has been doing the special features for Michael since the movie started shooting, the Michael Jackson biopic. So, you know, he's had to work on this Rambo box set for quite some time, in addition to doing everything else. So Lionsgate finally put an announcement out, and they are, I mean, look, do we love our steelbooks, our Rambo steelbooks? Yeah.
That steelbook box is great. Yeah.
The steelbook box set is great. And maybe if you can't, you want to put but here is Lionsgate announced this is, and by the way, I think this box set's dope. You know, I really enjoy this. This is the Lionsgate box set, and I would call this definitive. I would say that this is the result of Cliff Stevenson's, I mean, a lot of other people as well, passion of getting this out. So this is Rambo, the Complete Collection 4K box set. Now, here's what, I'm going to go through the movies so you know. First Blood, a.k.a. Rambo. It has exclusive new Dolby Vision and HDR presentations of the theatrical cut of the film. It has a new Dolby Atmos track. Again, the remixing, they spared no expense. Rambo First Blood Part 2, written by James Cameron. Exclusive new Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the theatrical cut, and it has a new Dolby Atmos track. Rambo 3, exclusive new Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the theatrical cut of the film, and it has a new Dolby Atmos track. Rambo is both the theatrical and the extended cuts of the film, and Rambo Last Blood has both the theatrical and Stallone's extended cut, which is new and exclusive to this particular release. As you know, it's come out before around the world. You got me a version of Rambo Last Blood. But they had to find sound elements that they previously did not have before, because certain sound elements just weren't available. And they went back to, Cliff was able to locate like a print that had the 6 track. I wish I had the details in front of me. I want to have him come on the show when the box set comes out to talk about the Odyssey. Like, he did not give up the same way that like Darren Doctorman and Dave Fine were hell-bent on getting the director's cut of Star Trek The Motion Picture on 4K. Cliff Stevenson has done, as Gaff would say in Blade Runner about Deckard, a man's job getting this box set out. So it is truly the definitive version of all of the Rambo movies, and Lionsgate has spared no expense to get this out.
It will be an Amazon exclusive, actually, strangely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I can understand that, but it's definitely worth getting, and I hope Lisa sends me one.
Which is great for me, Rob, you know? So I can get it.
Yeah, so you can get it. And it's definitely worth it if you like the Rambo movies. Now, next, which really pisses me off, this really bothers me. So Disney announces this week, and look, I think all the Disney movies should have a great release. Alice in Wonderland is coming out, and Disney's going to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Alice in Wonderland, which is from 1951, with a brand new 4K Blu-ray release. This hits on May 5th. What the hell, Disney? I mean, what's taking you so long? It's a new 4K restoration of the film. It is in Dolby Vision with HDR. It's got lots of special features that they're repurposing and all that. But why does it take you guys such a long time to get these out there? Again, you know, I would think that where's Fantasia? Where's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Where's Mary Poppins? You wait till the 75th anniversary to give us a 4K? I mean, I don't get what Disney's doing with their library. And by the way, hello, how about 20th Century Fox? You bought that library. Where is it? Where's Patton in 4K? Where's French Connection in 4K? Where's the 10,000 other Fox films? Where's Planet of the fucking Apes?
It's in our vault, Rob. In our vault. To never come out again.
Unbelievable. You know, people are worried about, let's incubate IPs. Well, how about get the IPs that you already have out? How about that? Where's my 20th Century Fox Apes box set? Anyway, you know who knows what's up? George Feltenstein and Warner Archive, and they have a banger new slate of movies. This is what they're putting out in May. We have Follow Me Quietly, and here you go. I don't know much about this movie, but hey, I'll follow him quietly. He looks pretty badass. Then we have The Fifth Man Army. Now, I don't even know what this movie is. I don't know this movie, but listen to this. The Fifth Man Army, where the Army leads action fans, especially spaghetti Western fans, will want to follow. Set during the Mexican Revolution, the five-man army is a niftily executed, it says niftily, the word niftily. I've never heard of that as a word, but niftily. I know nifty, but a niftily executed tale of mercenaries who, on behalf of rebel forces, take on a mission to rob a trainload of gold. Make that a suicide mission because the train is heavily armored, armed with troops, cannons, and machine guns, and traveling a route guarded by more soldiers. Peter Graves, then known for his role as Mastermind Jim Phelps on the TV Mission Impossible series, faces another odds-defying task as the Dutchman, leader of a hand-picked commando squad consisting of strongmen, an explosive expert, a circus acrobat, it's like Ocean's 11, and a samurai swordsman. This cult favorite film co-stars James Daly and spaghetti Western favorite Bud Spencer, with a screenplay co-written by, get this, Dario Argento. Famed composer Ennio Morricone's throbbing score amplifies the on-screen action of this ready-to-be-rediscovered film that, wrote the New York Times' Vincent Canby, is for anybody who enjoys lean, taut suspense with no fiddling around. Come on, dude. Who doesn't want to see that?
I was thinking when I saw the cover, is that Bud Spencer? And then I saw it on the bottom. It actually is, because Bud Spencer was big here in Germany.
Bud Spencer's huge, and he's in the five-man army. So I can't wait to get this. And leave it to George Feltenstein and the folks at Warner Archive for delivering it. George knows what is up, my friend.
Yeah.
Then we're getting The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau. I love this movie. A new transfer, probably looks great. Tony Randall's in this. If you guys haven't seen The Seven Faces of Dr. Lau, it is an incredible genre movie. You need to see it to understand. It's like The Matrix. Yeah. You can't be told what The Matrix is. You need to experience it for yourself.
And it has the rules for our show, Rob. Bolt the doors, lock the windows.
That's right. Especially when the C wing is open. So that's very, very cool. Thank you, Warner Archive, for that. And then we're getting Joan Crawford with Clark Gable in Possessed. Who doesn't want to see that? Clark Gable and Joan Crawford. And by the way, George Feltenstein and I have a particular love for both Joan Crawford and Mommy Dearest, which one day Paramount should put out on 4K. And if they don't, hey, Vinegar Syndrome, put Mommy Dearest out in 4K. Just saying. Then we have The Late Show with Art Carney and Lily Tomlin. I saw this movie in a theater. I don't remember it at all, but it's coming out. I love this artwork on the cover, which is very, very cool. And then we have, again, Warner Archives putting out Monogram Studios. This is Monogram Matinees, Volume 3, with these great Westerns. So that's a really interesting group. And then finally, they're putting out the modern Looney Tunes cartoons, the HBO Max versions, as a box set. And they've really been committing to Looney Tunes. So that's very, very cool. So what a great lineup for May from Warner Archive.
Yep.
Then they're putting out the recent Elvis movie that Baz Luhrmann did, the documentary with the rediscovered found footage. I didn't get to see this in IMAX, but everybody says this is incredible. And I love my concert films. Yeah, so I will get that. Now, MVD is putting out Meatballs 4, starring Corey Feldman.
Meatballs 4.
I mean, are you ready for the summer? Look, I like Meatballs 1. I didn't even know there was Meatballs 4. And Corey Feldman, there you go. But this is how I like to imagine Corey Feldman. Anyway, is this pre-Friday the 13th 4 or not? I have no idea. I know nothing about this movie, but it's coming out from MVD. Purveyors of great movies. So, they
have their line, Rob, they have their line.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Then we've got from Leo Mark Studios. I don't know much about this, but we have we have Richard Pryor in Adios Amigo. And this is from 1976, and it stars Fred Williamson. I mean, listen to this cast. Fred Williamson, Richard Pryor, James Brown, Robert Phillips, and Mike Henry. A charismatic con man and a straight-shooting cowboy join forces in this comedic Western, delivering a blend of action, humor, and adventure in the Old West. I mean, blaxploitation icon Fred Williamson is in this. Count me in. I know nothing about this movie, but I definitely will totally buy it. Then here's something random for those of you who might remember him. Star Wars Kid, The Rise of the Digital Shadows. This is a documentary from 2002. In 2022. In April 2003, a video of lightsaber-wielding teenager Ghislaine Raza arrived online and became a worldwide sensation, eventually earning more than 1 billion views. Wildly perceived as a misguided Star Wars fanatic hungry for attention, Raza only had a casual interest in the franchise, and the original tape was a camera test for a school project he never intended to show anyone. Shared without his consent, the video went on to saturate mainstream culture, but rather than benefit from this attention, Raza was ridiculed, hounded by the press, and bullied by his classmates, ultimately forcing him to withdraw from school and all aspects of public life. Finally, Raza breaks his silence, revealing how this internet phenomenon became a harrowing personal ordeal and the path he took to restore his self-esteem and find a sense of purpose as an adult. Fleshing out Raza and his experienced director Mathieu Fournier brings new depth to a story that went global without going deep, and even brings Raza into contact with the blogger who turned him into a meme. It's a potent look at the high-tech harassment and disturbing new threats emerging online today. I love it. I mean,
sounds interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, man. It really does. Now for Radiance. Radiance has a banger slate coming out in July, beginning with this, The Boxer. Again, I don't know a lot about a lot of their movies, but they're finding some great stuff. The Boxer's from 1977. A former boxing champ on the Skids. This is a Japanese movie that stars Bunta Sugawa from Japanese Godfather, finds an opportunity for redemption by training a young fighter everyone judges beyond hope. There you go. Then we have The Double. And The Double, I mean, they found the best stuff. Giovanni is shot in an underground parking garage by a mysterious bearded man. As his life flashes before his eyes through flashbacks, we learn about his life and what led to this moment. His flirtatious wife, Lucia, and the fissures her behavior complicates with the family business. With its delirious editing continually returning us to the site of the murder, Giovanni's life turns in on itself as the film explores masculinity, eroticism, and the uncanny. One of the great undiscovered greats of the genre. The Double is a sexy metaphysical giallo, newly restored and officially released for the first time since VHS. That's pretty dope. I'll get that. Then we have this, which is the Hourglass Sanatorum. The Hourglass Sanatorum. A young man takes a train into the middle of nowhere to visit his dying father, who he understands is residing in a sanatorium. On arrival, he discovers a giant building crumbling into ruin, with the patients seemingly left to their own devices and time itself behaving in strange, nonlinear ways. A doctor then informs him that his father is both alive and not alive, beginning an epic hallucinogenic journey through the hospital and his own mind, with each room unlocking its own sinister, hallucinatory world. I mean, what's not to love about that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, right up our alley, man.
Fun,
And then
fun
we have
and
a
happy.
a box set of Godard movies, histories of History du Cinema and other works. Made over 10 years at the end of cinema's first century, Jean-Luc Godard's roving, essayistic video project is a multi-layered celebration of the art form's achievements, as well as a raging condemnation of its failure to respond and engage with turbulent times, melding together film clips, newsreel footage, painting, music, as well as Godard's own narration in a transfixing collage. Histories of Cinema du Cinema is a passionate cry de courrier by a cinema icon entering a galvanizing late period, of which many other works are included in this release. Marked by searching introspection and bold experimentation, these film and video projects show a creative spirit continuously engaged with the question of cinema's place in the world and the world's place within cinema. And there you go. Now here's something. Oh, here's
Histoire du cinéma.
Yeah, Histoire. There, I don't fucking speak European. So there you go. Now we get transmission number 4, which is Vampire's Kiss. Is it 4 or 3? Maybe it's 3. Wait, it'll say in the picture, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
I don't see it.
Well, Vampire's Kiss. I love this movie. This movie is terrific.
Yeah.
3 or 4, either way. It's great. I love Vampire's Kiss. If you haven't seen it, here you go. Now, finally, this is really interesting. They're putting this out. It's almost an answer to Exorcismo that came out from Synapse that I loved so much.
Yeah.
This is 2 boxes, televised terror in Franco's Spain. Spain in the early 1970s was a country in transition, with increasingly economic prosperity and the expectations of a growing middle class in direct conflict with the dying Francoist regime, where state surveillance, media censorship, and social control was the norm. Inspired by the mystery horror anthology series such as Alfred Hitchcock Presents and The Twilight Zone, this unique period in history is depicted with terrifying clarity and dark humor in these 2 infamous television films, Le Cabin and El Television. A group of officials install a telephone box outside a block of flats. After a man enters to make a phone call, he finds himself unable to leave, attracting the attention of fascinated locals as he grows increasingly desperate to escape. A sensation upon release, developed a huge cult following in the UK after regularly screening on late-night TV. Then there's El Televisor, a man living in a dreary suburb has a simple dream to possess his own television. When he finally gets his wish, the dream soon becomes a dangerous, all-consuming obsession. Originally a special episode of Sarander's hugely popular series Tales to Keep You Awake, El Televisor's escalating dread and shocking conclusion still retains its power to shock over 50 years later. Bro, count me in. So in on this. 2 boxes.
That's 2 synopsis.
There you go, man. Then we have Queen Kelly. Also, this comes out again. Another epic film. Actually, you know what? I hate it when they add things to this. If I pick movies last night, they've added stuff But anyway, what can I tell you? So whatever this is, they've added things today that I didn't put in. So this is Milestone Collection. I believe it's Kino Lorber. They're putting it out. What's not to love? Okay. Then we're getting Life Force is coming out from Imprint Films. Again, if you already have the Arrow release, you probably don't need it. Both versions coming out in this box set.
That's the important part.
Yes, and then, of course, UK, Second Sight's UK already put this out in 4K, but this is Nicholas Winding Refn's Pusher Trilogy is coming out. Very exciting. If you didn't get the Second Sight release, which is amazing, but you can.
It's the smaller packaging.
Yeah, smaller packaging. Then we have a movie called Twinless that
I heard very good things about it, but I have not seen it. I
haven't either. The Vixter, Victoria told me about this. Yeah. She said it was great. Twinless, and this is coming out from Lionsgate.
Good things about it. Yeah.
Me too. Really want that. Then a movie called Crosstalk is coming out. Umbrella Entertainment is putting this out. This is from 1982. This is the American version of Umbrella. Is putting this out. Confined by his mysterious employers to a luxury high-rise apartment, wheelchair-bound computer programmer Ed Ballinger attempts to correct a malfunction in the I-500, the world's most sophisticated surveillance system. Confronted by increasingly bizarre readouts, he discovers that not only is the computer's intelligence growing, but it's witnessed a vicious murder. And Ed becomes obsessed with solving the crime, and soon both man and machine are plunged into a vortex of technological terror. I've never seen that. I'd watch it. Never heard of it. Looks cool to me.
Okay.
Then we have The Roundup Outlaws, starring Don Lee. Probably something you might be interested in. You know, awesome.
Yeah, Rob. The Roundup was a great IP, great series from Korea, and I believe Rob Outlaws was actually the first one of that series.
Oh, nice. All right.
This was the first one. Great stuff with Don Lee. You know, he plays a cop, and you know, punches people. Rob.
Well, that's
totally great. Not one of those. I believe 4 movies. Is it now? Were disappointing. All 4 were bangers.
Most excellent.
All 4 were bangers. Yeah.
Then we've got
and
Heel.
I think Outlaws was the first one.
Cool. Magnolia is putting this out. This is from 2025. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure it's
good things about it with Stephen Graham from.
It's a twisted thriller that follows 19-year-old hooligan Tommy, who revels in a life of drugs, parties, and violence. One night on a bender with his reckless friends, he becomes separated from the group and is abducted by an unknown figure played by Stephen Graham. Though he is no stranger to inflicting violence, he is enraged and horrified when he wakes up to find himself chained in the basement of the isolated suburban family home of Chris, his wife Catherine, and their young son. The family sets about to reform Tommy's unruly behavior. Hey,
I think they changed the title, Rob. I think in the UK it was actually Good Boy, and they changed the title in the States to Heel.
Can I interrupt this and turn the live chat over to you? I'm being called up.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the live chat over to you. I will be back.
Okay. I'll be back. So we take a little bit of a short break from the news, and you have to deal with me and a live chat readout from 2 weeks ago. Hopefully I have the context remembered. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, we start with Black Cinematic, who says you can do box office numbers until the final ones come out Monday. Well, this is correct. We can do the box office Sunday because those estimates are pretty spot on. Yes, there can some walk-up business later to put in 1 or 2 or perhaps 3 million more, but those estimates are pretty damn spot on. So we can actually do it Sunday. This was actually a question for Rob, but he's not here anymore. But Major Chai just says, but Rob's a masochist, so he has to watch Starfleet Academy. Totally agree with that. This was another question for Rob. GA First says, I think Runaway Train, which comes out from Kino Lorber, is a wee bit overrated, kind of dumb, to be honest. The Train is probably the best train movie. If that is indeed a sub for train movies. Das Play-Doh. Funny that there's a movie called Street Thresh. Yeah, there are actually 2 with the remake. Eucalyptus. Project Hail Mary is peak cinema. Is it really peak cinema? Not sure about that. Lord Hoth, considering Project Hail Mary, the book was great, the movie was good. And he goes on, it isn't supposed to be a comedy. The Alex Sorber, okay, so which is it? Dieter and Rob's comedy or Max not a comedy? It's not a comedy, it's a sci-fi, but with that Marvel type humor, comedy veneer put over it. Okay? The Alex Sorber. Warner Archive and Kino Lorber sales at the same time is killing me. Keep adding and deleting from cards. Yeah, I know that situation. Put it into the online shopping cart. Put it out, put it in. Put it in. Put it in. Walter Whitewalker. I watched Project Hail Mary again yesterday. Might have been better the second time, which is always great. And I hopefully Project Hail Mary I will come around to when I will watch it for a second time. Steve Catania asks me, Dieter, I got the 4K of Jade and the 4K of Last Seduction from Imprint. Do you have these bragging rights? Laugh out loud. Actually, I have them, and I showed them here on the show. The Jade one from Imprint and the Last Seduction one. And those are, of course, pretty chunky boxes, unlike, which I quite enjoy, which I showed, those indicator ones. Then Richard Curtis, this was a super chat actually. He said, a friend wanted some film recommendations from me this weekend. He so far watched The Guest, Drive, Requiem for a Dream, Deadman, and Ghost Dog. He's given them all nothing below a 7 out of 10. Well, Richard, perhaps that friendship is put to the test and needs a re-evaluation. If none of those movies got above a 7, perhaps a re-evaluation is in order. And we talked a little bit about what I hate. I love my streaming, but what I hate is when a movie is over and immediately the window is shrunk. Immediately, so you can watch another thing, or 5 seconds later, we will start the next episode. And one of my friends, Eric van Schoor, the director of Hope and Glory, was in the live chat, and he asked, is there a way to adjust this in the streaming settings? As far as I know, no, there is no option to change it, because they always want to give you immediately new content to watch. Major Chai, at the risk of being exited by Robert, I couldn't get into For All Mankind, and I have a pretty strong awareness of the space industry. Perhaps give it another shot. Joshua Gonzalez.
Yeah, man, you're dead to me. What the fuck?
You're dead to me.
How can you not get into For All Mankind?
I have no idea. You have to ask yourself. So if you're back, Rob, then I can go back just a little bit to get those 2 questions that people would be asking you. And I have a spectator wants to know, Rob, did you think comic book stores are done for?
That is a good question. I don't.
Comic book.
I mean, look, the real question about comic book stores is, are there going to be comics that go into stores? And comic book stores sell a lot of other things. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, I feel that the real what all of these things that we love, collecting things that we're facing, is that you have an entirely changing interest in what people like. And reading, unfortunately, anything that you have to read, that you have to focus on, that you have to pay attention to, is there's a couple of things going on.
It's a tough sell these days.
It's that's falling by the wayside, and also the quality of the writing. I mean, I try and keep up with people who always ask me, are you reading this? Are you reading Absolute Batman or Absolute Superman? I will read those when they get collected into omnibuses, because if they're not collected into omnibuses, they're not worth reading. And that's where they're making their money. And look, I think that our civilization, especially when it comes to youth culture, the things that defined youth culture for me, movies, music, comics, fashion, all that stuff, it's just kids today, if all you're doing is looking at social media, you're not looking for something new. You're looking for things that you already like, either reflected back at you. It's just a different world. And I think comics are art, as is music. And nowadays, people just don't think of it. Like, I would use the comics I read. I'll give you an example. I'm a huge fan of Howard Chaykin. One of my favorite comic book series of all time was Howard Chaykin's American Flag, which I discovered, I want to say, in '83. Hugely influential to me. They're finally collecting it into a hardcover omnibus because a lot of his artwork, even the lettering, Ken Brusenak's lettering, and the logo design, everything about American Flag was, to me, groundbreaking and incredible. From the artwork, the panel designs, the way that the words would bleed out, like the big sound effects of a gun shooting would bleed over multiple panels. I mean, it was so groundbreaking that to me, when I would read American Flag, it wasn't just a comic book story. You were getting a comic book that was as much about design and fashion and a vibe as anything else. We don't have anything remotely. And plus, it was a dystopian science fiction send-up of America. It was political. We don't have anything remotely that touches Howard Chaykin's American Flag these days. So it doesn't surprise me. I think one of the things that youth culture is missing are voices that matter to them. And we found them in art. We found them in music. We found them... While Taylor Swift might be the voice of a whole generation, I don't think it's her art as much as it is her. And that's what we now live in, a world that's a cult of personality. And it's, an online person like Clavicular and his looks-maxing philosophy becomes popular. Well, that person will be gone in a year, and their looks-maxing philosophy will be replaced. Whereas we're still listening to the same music we listened to 50 fucking years ago because it still resonates. Youth culture today doesn't. And if you have an art form like comic books that people aren't reading it's not just superhero comics. We had indie comics. You had things like the Hernandez brothers doing Love and Rockets. You had Chaykin doing American Flag. You had Frank Miller not just doing Daredevil, but doing Ronin. There was so many interesting things, so many interesting voices that were expressing themselves through comics. We don't have that anymore. And so I could see comics dying out, comic book stores dying out because, frequently comic book stores also sold a lot of indie bands now, but what indie bands are pressing records? And it's just a different world. I think it's a much less interesting one because we don't have a lot of youth culture that explodes across the culture that matters, that permeates anything, but it's all fleeting. And frankly, people that read comic books, especially superhero comics, which are predominant in America, they don't want to read anymore. They want to watch the animated shows. They want to see the movies. They're not excited about ongoing comic shows or comic series unless something like, a 7-foot-tall Batman comes out wielding an axe like a cover of a Molly fucking Hatchet record.
Hatchet.
I mean, it's a different world. Will comic book stores endure? I would hope so, but with comic distribution like Diamond going away, it's the same thing. And when people talk, well, Rob, physical media is coming back. No, it's coming back as a fad because people, especially young people, need something to fucking do. So they'll be like, oh, I can collect physical media. Like you could have always collected physical media, but you're not really interested in movies or cinema. You're now interested in being part of a thing that has online forums and you can bitch about transfers that you don't know anything about anyway. Why doesn't this look like Toy Story? Oh, I don't know, because it was photochemically produced. I mean, none of it's real. It's all ephemeral. If you want to have a comic book store, you need a consumer base that's actually interested in the art of comics. We don't have that anymore. So there ends my rant.
There you go. So let me just go back
Sorry.
to where I No problem, Rob. I always like to clip out those questions, even if they are not coming in the form of super chat. So this was the Richard Curtis one. Our friend Eric von Shore was here. Joshua Gonzalez, I'm getting Avatar Fire and Ash. Yeah, me too. Even if my love or liking of the franchise is slowly fading away, but I will of course will get the 3D and the 4K. Pooch 44, I honestly wish Cameron would step away from Avatar and pursue other things. We still need to look if he will go on with 4 and 5. And one of the big titles that is coming up is, of course, Speed Racer. And Eric von Shore, our director of Hope and Glory, was in the live chat, and he said, Speed Racer is one of my all-time favorites. The final race is jaw-dropping. Just could do without so many monkey scenes. Otherwise, Speed Racer is a trip. The score, the sound design, and image composition just create a unique rush, unlike anything out there. That's nice to know. It will be just around the corner. And Joshua Gonzalez says, Speed Racer, the movie, is awesome. And Paul and Bernardo was on the live chat. Speed Racer on 4K. Yes, we can't wait. Probably next month is the release date. And then we have Channel Surf. He said, I worked on the audio mastering for Speed Racer, and after seeing it multiple times, I still love it. It's a fun movie. And then we have Eric von Shore, once again, in the live chat. What is about the representation of deer in films lately? Frankenstein, Cold Storage, and not even Spielberg seems to be able to feature a realistic CGI deer in Disclosure Day. Yeah, I quite found that same issue. I have the same issue with you, like you. When I saw the Disclosure Day trailer, I thought, okay, the deer, I'm not sure about it.
Oh, wait till perhaps the effect's finished. Wait till it's done. Come on.
Perhaps deer is not the main go-to animal for CGI creators. Who knows? Joshua Gonzalez, Audition is a masterpiece. Takeshi Miike film, which will come to 4K. And Shonen Kaiju says, Audition 4K, hell yeah. Justin Toner, this Jackie Chan set is awesome. Yes, it is. And Joshua Gonzalez says, Drunken Master 2, that's awesome. And Drunken Master 2 was actually put out from Warner Archive a few years back, but now we will get this awesome Jackie movie in even 4K. Pete and Cart, hello, all off topic, but I watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms the other day. I can honestly say that's the most enjoyable telly that I've seen in Yongs. Good show. Yeah, it totally was. That's Play-Doh. I call upon Dieter to enact more equality in the shoutouts. The Major gets too many shoutouts. I don't feature anything more, just stuff that I think is worth to clip out. Paul and Bernardo, I think the Sheep Detective looks good. Really, Paul? Really? The Sheep Detective? You Jackman? Not sure about that. The trailer gives me, stay away. The Alex Sorber, come on now, Dieter. You can never have enough to live and die in LA.
That's
Considering Rob, that is certainly true. Drew Gordon, I rewatched the director's cut of The Frighteners last night. It's better than a lot of films, including Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, in my opinion. The Frighteners is fresh in my head after watching it last night. Director's cut is 2 hours of flawed short. The serial killer and paranormal cult stuff is all done well and funny. Okay. Walter White Walker was the first episode of Robservations about a guy who recreated the speeder from A New Hope, or am I remembering a different show? No, as far as I remember, that was one of the first videos that Rob put up, and then we waited. He said, he will do his own channel. We'll do his own channel. We will make a show, and we'll get it. We had to wait. But finally, he came online, and here I am too.
No, that was back
live chicks up.
Back in 2018.
My friend Greg Smith, who's also since then they built a like a probe droid and a tauntaun, and he built Luke's land speeder from A New Hope, and it's really cool.
Yep.
I went out to Olympia where he was living at the time to see it. You can also watch. I think I put up the just that segment on its own. It's called Middle Age Cosplay.
Okay.
So if you go to like Robservations Middle Age Cosplay, you can see just that. And he also takes you through how he made his Boba Fett cosplay. It's really cool.
Yeah. Certainly. I remember that. That was one of the first you put out there. Walter Whitewalker, I want Dieter to get hammered with Rob on here one night. That would be awesome. Maybe a Midnight Metal. Though that's a little too early.
Have you ever gotten drunk before?
Yeah, sure, Rob, but not online for all the world to see.
I mean, you come off as such a nice upscale individual. I mean, you're German, so like, if I got you really hammered, would it turn out you're actually like a cannibal or something?
Perhaps some bad stuff would arise, just like in the drama. Who knows?
Just like in the, I was gonna say, are we gonna have some drama if I get you
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I don't want to get drunk with you online. One of my dreams is to come.
If we do, would we do it in private, Rob? More?
No. I want to
Private
come. I want to come to Germany. Look, we've been friends.
Yeah.
I've never met you in person, and one of the things like I want to talk about at the end of the show. I got something coming up. That might facilitate me coming to see you. So,
Okay.
which we're going to talk about, because I wanted to go to Europe since I started this channel and do shows from Europe. Go places and meet people that I'm streaming with from Europe, or friends from Europe. I really want to go all over Europe. And it would be fun to go like with you. Aren't you going to retire soon?
I have still a few years to go, Rob.
Oh, well, do you get like a vacation?
Yeah, that would be a dream scenario, Rob. Actually, who's still doing the show with you, and I can say, Rob, I have done my last shift. That would be a dream scenario for me, Rob.
Because I think it'd be fun to come to you and go on to grab you, and we'll go on a European tour, like a 2-week tour of Europe. If Europe still exists, if it hasn't become a global caliphate by now, whatever. If we can still go, and an American passport will still get me into other countries. Well, anyway, you finished the live chat.
Yeah. The next one will please you, Rob. The Alex Sorber Free Enterprise was a massive success in my house. So I guess you are party of one.
That's the story of my life.
Paul and Brunotto, Rob and Dieter are totally awesome. You see that, Plato? That stuff I clip out, You should know by now what I clip out. Stuff that strokes our egos. And Walter Whitewalker says 23.4% to episode 1000 drop. So we are already at the quarter mark. Dr. Sleep, is Disney releasing 4K UHD of Endor 2? They're bloody better. Not until now, but hopefully could do this package. Energy, if you're a fan of To Live and Die in LA, you should watch or listen the recent episode of The Rewatchables. It's really good. Do you know that show, Rob? The Rewatchables on
but
YouTube,
if they
perhaps?
did an episode, I mean, they should have had me
Rewatchable. Yeah. It's a show about To Live and Die in LA. That's Plato. Chai just said got 4 shoutouts, and you got one with this too. Patrick Williams informs us Netflix owns Stranger Things. On the back of the box, it says property of Netflix. That is the physical copy. There is nothing about Warner owning anything on the box. Okay. And he goes on. YouTubers on physical media need to bring up on Arrow video for Logan's Run. That was the live chat readout, Rob.
I do want to point out
from
that this year, 2026, is the 50th anniversary of Logan's Run.
Okay, there's still time. There's still.
So hang on.
time.
I just wanna. So Logan's Run. Well, it should have come out in June. I think they've already announced their June titles.
Okay.
Logan's Run was released June 23rd, 1976. By the way,
But you did found a loophole, Rob. You did found a loophole for it.
I did. I was there. By the way, I was there.
But you found a loophole considering UK. The UK.
Yeah, we can still.
Release
That's
date
right,
was
because
later.
Arrow is a UK.
Common.
A UK disc, and so the UK release was later, so that could very well be what Arrow is waiting for, which I hope so, because my God, Logan's Run needs a 50th anniversary 4K. If they can put out fucking Westworld, you can put out Logan's Run. Come on.
Certainly.
Let me jump back in. First of all, we got some. We do have
Super
some super chats. I want to hit them. Tom Jr. Jackson sent a Burnettwork membership. Thanks for that. Major Chai Chai says, thank you, Robert and chat, for the well wishes. I would ask, maybe it would be really cool if we could live stream his bypass, but I don't think they would allow us to do that, but that'd be dope.
The pit live.
It'd be like the pit, but for real. Kelvin Wellborn says, Bob, you want to go and destroy the Suck Trek set? No. They are dismantling the Strange New World sets, which means, thank God, Star Trek Year One is never going to happen. Thank you. Or maybe it still could, and then I know I'm living in the wrong timeline. Hitchhiker 42, who's been a member for 35 months, says, hi all, what Atmos soundtracks would you like to see be released by Super Deluxe Edition? My top requests would be the Queen soundtracks for Highlander and Flash Gordon. Those would be great, and they've been doing Queen remasters. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Super Deluxe Edition is a company that is remastering records, famous, 80s, 70s, whatever records in Dolby Atmos, and they are fucking incredible. Incredible. Now, I haven't bought all of them, but I bought a lot of them, and they're like, I mean, it's like listening to a whole new record, if you like. It makes me want to, I don't have the proper sound setup that I want because I put pictures of my movie room on
what's great, Rob?
on Instagram, but it, it's only a 65-inch OLED set, and it is a Dolby Atmos room, but it's a small room, and I can't, I want dual subs, for instance, and just the speakers alone that I've priced out reasonable speakers. If I could replace my Klipsch system, which I just got because it was easy because that room, I mean, just I want just dual subs, the Atmos speakers. I need another like $12,000 for speakers.
That would be nice to have, Rob.
But I don't have the room for it. I don't have. It'd be silly for me to spend that much money on speakers for that particular room. So. But in terms of soundtracks, I mean, it'd be great if Super Deluxe Edition would look. I would love to get Goldsmith's score for Star Trek: The Motion Picture in Dolby Atmos. I think it'd be great. They remastered it when they did the 4K disc. Obviously the Star Wars, Lord of the Rings soundtracks, any of the big soundtracks to be remastered in 5.1 would be great. I mean, Queen is something that Super Deluxe Edition could actually do. I think they would do huge.
Don't they have one of their Queen albums?
Yeah, News of the World's coming out.
Yeah,
they have a lot of the live albums, so they've done Queen. It would be interesting. I mean, I don't think they did. They didn't do all the music in Highlander, did they? They only did the songs. I'm not sure if they did.
We need the songs, Rob.
Whereas in Flash Gordon, they actually did the entire score.
Correct.
And that score is really, really cool. That whole album with lines from the movie, that would be amazing to get in Dolby Atmos. I'm going to vote for that.
Greatest that space travel scene, when
with the guitar.
I
I love that. It's great. Yes. So that would be that'd be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah.
T-Boy. T-Boy
Okay.
58 says, "Hey Bob, have you ever read We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor? If not, do yourself a favor and get ready for a 5-book marathon." If memory serves, I have not read these books, but if memory serves, this We Are Legion series, I've heard of it, and the premise is, and you have to help me out if I'm wrong, that a dude, Bob, we are Bob, hi Bob, if you like, For All Mankind, uploads, or he either dies or he uploads his consciousness into like an AI, like a von Neumann machines, like self-replicating machines that are exploring the universe, but his consciousness is in them, and then he runs into other ships that have I mean, it's very cool. I mean, the whole idea is very, very cool, and I'm a big fan of look, if somebody would give me, the only reason I recognize this I think it's this series, is because I've often joked that if I was able to upload my consciousness into a generational starship that would take like 1,000 years to get to a destination, then give me all the books to read that I've never been able to read, give me all the movies to watch, video games to play. It'll be my consciousness in virtual space. Whatever you need my consciousness to do to run a generation starship, I will do it. And this particular book series has something to do with that, but I don't remember.
All right.
Apocalypse Cow says, have you guys seen the movie Butt Boy? Well, I've lived it. No, have you seen the movie Butt Boy from 2019, directed by Tyler Cormack? Bonkers. The main character hides people up his rear end, and a detective must find them. Now, that sounds interesting, but I don't think there's a lot of verisimilitude there. I mean, I've
never heard of that.
I'm not against hiding things up my bum, but they can't be the size of people. I want a certain amount of pleasure involved, and usually having a woman administer that. But I don't need people up my ass. I don't know. I mean, people are up my ass figuratively all the time. But I don't know. But
never heard of that.
I never have either. Well, let's get back to the news. We have a Kino Lorber title called Matinee. This is Kino Cult. And now, okay, Matinee. I'm looking to see, I can't tell. What is it, 51? Kino Cult, is that the...
Yeah, 51. Yeah,
51.
51.
Okay, Matinee is from 1989. And again, Kino Cult, one of my favorite labels. A 1989 meta slasher in the tradition of Fade to Black and Popcorn. Oh, I'm in. Matinee opens with a savage stabbing into small-town cinema, forcing its closure. After 2 years, the case has gone cold, and the Paramount Theater is allowed to reopen. But as the lights go down, tensions rise, and the Halston Horror Film Festival once again becomes a deranged killer's cinematic stalking ground. A hard-bitten cop leads a frantic search among a sea of red herrings. Could the murderer be the local bad boy or his girlfriend? Perhaps the theater manager or the creepy filmmaker who plays the smoking man from The X-Files is in it. And how many people will die before the curtain falls? That sounds actually pretty good. I'd watch that. So that is Matinee from 1989. Then we have this, Eagles of the Republic, which again, Eagles of the Republic is coming to us from the Cohen Media Group, which is a sub-label of Kino. This is from 2026, so this is a new movie, which I don't usually cover. But since I don't know what this is, Egypt's most adored actor, who is from Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is pressured to star in a film commissioned by the highest authorities. He reluctantly accepts the role and finds himself thrown into an inner circle of power. Like a moth drawn to the flame, he begins an affair with the mysterious wife of the general overseeing the film. Okay. There you go.
Right up your alley.
Right up my alley, or my bum, depending, you know. Cold Storage, coming out from Studio Canal, at least in the UK. I love this movie. Not many people went to see it here in the States. Liam Neeson's in it. It's this movie is so much fun. It's a throwback to 80s creature features and all kinds of movies. I had so much fun with this. I can't wait to get this.
Yeah.
It might remind you of Tremors or movies of its ilk.
Great.
It's really good. Now, here's something that I will not miss. Jan Svankmayer's Faust. This is from 1994. And Jan Svankmayer, I don't know if you guys know him, but it's a rendering of the famous Dr. Faustus' fable of temptation and damnation, borrowing freely from both Marlowe and Goethe, the German philosopher, the ancient folk tales and timeless myths. The story follows a lonely Czech businessman who sells his soul to the devil in return for 24 years of self-indulgence. The visually fantastic combination of live action, claymation, and puppet theater, stop-motion animation, and other special effects, Svankmayer creates an unsettling universe presided over by the diabolic life-size marionettes and haunted by sinister human messengers from hell. Come on. That's an afternoon at the office for me. Can't wait. And then, of course, we have Orgasmo from Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Okay.
What's not to love? Trey Parker's Orgasmo from 97, starring Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And Ron Jeremy, the porn star. So it's Orgasmo. I mean, I try and have one every morning. So there you go. What's not to love? Then we have Play with Fire. Look at this beautiful box set. Cult Epics is putting this out. I mean, we're getting a just
looks a little bit like the Arrow release.
It does. They're definitely emulating Arrow. Play with Fire. Yeah. It's directed by Sui Hark. After a fatal hit and run, 3 high school students flee this crime scene. They're witnessed by Pearl, a sadistic young girl who pursues the group and blackmails them into more crimes with increasingly disastrous consequences. Don't Play with Fire, a.k.a. Dangerous Encounters of the First Kind, directed by Sui Hark, is one of the most controversial and violent crime films from the Hong Kong new wave of the 1980s. Cult Epics presents, I know, right? Isn't this catnip to us? Cult Epics presents a 2-disc limited edition of 3,000 copies featuring 3 versions of the film, including a new 2K transfer and extensive bonus features. And disc 2 has a previously banned Chinese version of the film. Bruh.
Oh, okay.
Come on, dude.
I'm in.
Right.
I'm in, Ron. I'm in.
I am so in. So in. Then we have Children of the Wicker Man. This is a documentary about Robin Hardy's The Wicker Man, and this is coming to us from Severin. This documentary came out in 2024. And so this is all about, I guess, his son Justin Hardy's documentary about the ongoing legacy of the film.
Rob, help me. Was it not perhaps already in your big box set from Studio Canal as a bonus feature?
Was it? Could be.
I don't know, Rob.
It probably is. Could be. I'd have to look, but it's coming out from Severin individually. So there you go.
Yeah.
But you might be right.
Yeah,
you might be right.
It's just.
But I don't
just
know.
an
I think that
assumption.
Wicker Man box set came out before 2024. Wasn't it like 2023, 2022?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But you're.
It's just an assumption. From.
We'll have to look into that. And then this. The Trollenberg Terror.
What the hell?
I look at this cover and I'm thinking to myself, this is what's up. The Trollenberg Terror, okay? I don't know much about it, but it's coming out. I just caught this at the last. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this just because. Like, this is an old British horror film. I've never even heard of it, but if I had, my childhood would have been complete. The Trollenberg Terror. What's not to mention? What's not to love? I don't know what it is, but I'm certainly going to buy it. Then we have the top-selling Blu-ray discs. So Return to Silent Hill is number 1. There's no accounting for taste. I understand people love video games. What's not to love? That's good. And then, of course, Criterion at number 2 for Killers of the Flower Moon. Good for Criterion. Number 5, by the way, these are all the HD formats, meaning Blu-ray and 4K. It's so funny because there's so many others. Well, there's video on demand, I guess. Zootopia 2 is number 3. Looney Tunes Collector's Vault Volume 2 from Warner Archive. Warner Archive, a number 4. Come on, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Warner Archive, number 4. The Housemaid, number 5. Anaconda, number 6. The Running Man, number 7. David, number 8. Predator Badlands, One Day I Need to Get That, number 9. And number 10 is Good Boy. And then finally, we also have, this is the top-selling 4K discs at the number 1 spot, Criterion. Criterion at number 1 with Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese. The Running Man, number 2. Return to Silent Hill, number 3. Red Sonja from Arrow, number 4. No accounting for taste there. Number 5, Predator Badlands, number 5. A Bridge Too Far, which Kino put out last week, or 2 weeks ago. I showed that. Number 6, Ben-Hur, which I have number 7. Number 8, Dogma from Lionsgate. Number 9, The Housemaid. And finally, the Back to the Future trilogy at number 10. So there you go.
But it shows, Rob, the top 10, what you're always saying. Genre
Wait a minute.
fans
Has
are
Max
there.
Allen Collins been here for a long time?
No, he just popped up.
I was going to say, where the fuck has Max Allen Collins been?
But the top 10 shows what you're always saying, Rob. Genre fans are there. Return to Silent Hill, number 3.
Return to Silent Hill. You know who's here, everybody? I already spoiled the surprise, but let's give him his introduction. Let's give him his due.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Max Allen Collins. Max, how you doing?
Am I late?
Yeah,
A little bit. But
a little
that's
bit.
what
but
a headliner does,
Yeah,
Let the
yeah,
support
you can
acts
show
get
up
out
late.
of the way.
Here's-
The headliner comes last.
Here's my only problem. I kind of have a hard out at 11. I mean, I can push it to 12:15 because we have another open house and I have to get the dogs out of the house.
Well, I thought you were mad at me because of the disaster. That may be overstating it, but the disaster we had at the Sea Wing.
You know what? I just called the insurance company and said, take care of it.
May take more than the insurance because we had some nice weather here, and so it was time to do the first lawn mowing. We have to take care of the grounds.
Right.
And I put my guy Raul on it and said, take care of the grass. And he delivered to all of our rooms something called a nickel bag. Is that?
Yeah. And dude, he also took a bunch of hallucinogenic mushrooms and decided he was the lawnmower man. And we can't even talk about what happened there. Because it wasn't the Lawnmower Man movie, it was the story, The Lawnmower Man, that Stephen King wrote. And if you know that story, that's why I called
He's not going to get a raise. He's not going to get a raise, and I am having, again, dealing with local law enforcement. And I
had to pay them off.
Now.
I had to pay them off, which means that the April, I mean, we're only on the 11th of April. By the way, it's my mother's birthday today. She turns 86 years old. I was going to try and get up there, this weekend, but I can't. So I'm going up on the 24th, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. But yeah, so listen, I brought up the fact that Transmission put out Night of the Juggler. You wanted to talk about Night of the Juggler. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about Night of the Juggler.
Okay.
Unlike the Transmission version, you have the Kino Lorber version.
I do.
Tell us about Night of the Juggler.
I like it very much. Now, I have to tell you, I don't know what all is on the bells and whistles edition of this, but Kino has nothing to apologize for. They have.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's a great transfer. It's a great movie. I had never seen this movie, Rob.
I hadn't either.
And I'm actually kind of a big fan of the original director on the movie, Sidney J. Furie.
Yep.
Who among other things directed the Ipcrest Files. How much major do you get than that? And
but then he went on to direct Iron Eagle,
Uh-oh.
Well, I
Just
know
kidding.
it's a spotty CV, okay, but when he hit great. And one of them, I love the movie The Lawyer with Barry Newman,
Yeah.
which spawned Petrocelli, and I love that show and I love that movie. I've probably watched it 10 times. So when I found out that Fury had begun this movie and left, and interestingly, as you probably know, Rob, he left because he was running the Star, James Brolin, running him ragged. I mean, literally running him around
Yeah.
a very gritty New York. He's trying to catch up with the kidnapper, played by Cliff Gorman, of his daughter, of Brolin's
Cliff Gorman
daughter.
of all that jazz fame.
Gorman is incredible as the bad guy here. He's extremely sympathetic.
Yep.
Which is, I can't really think of a kidnapping movie where the kidnapper is sympathetic, but it's a great performance. You can tell he's mentally disturbed, and not kind of like the president. You can tell he's mentally disturbed, but has many good qualities, unlike the president. So I got a little off track there, but this is a terrific movie, and it's from it's from a William P. McGivern novel. Now, you know who that writer is, Rob?
No, but I expect you to tell me, Max. That's why you're here. Give me the
He wrote
411.
novel, The Big Heat.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Okay.
How much heavier source material for any movie did The Big Heat is an extremely faithful movie. Now, I don't know, but I haven't read this book, but I want to now, because it's going to be interesting to see how the novel would follow this guy on his journey across the city.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the what's the movie about the gangs going across the city?
The Warriors, dude.
The Warriors. It almost reminded me of the Warriors in its energy and the way it would move from one area of the city to another, mostly crummy areas. I really loved the stuff about what was it? No, I'm sorry, I'm spacing on it, but what was the in Manhattan, in New York, that the terrible 42nd Street area that was called? Was it called the
Times Square?
Yeah, well, but it had a nickname, and it's all just porn shops and hookers. And when they go into the porn shop,
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Pardon me.
You say that like
I have to admit, when they go into the porn shop, and he's trying to talk to the hooker who picked up a clue he needs, him being the protagonist, Josh Brolin, and he's having to put a quarter at a time in the little machine where the windows, the shade slides up and then slides down, and he's trying to talk to these women like they're there to service him, and he has something else in mind. He's trying to get some information. An incredible scene, and I can't tell you, I don't know if I should admit how many of the actresses I recognized in there, the porn star actresses, a couple of whom have lines. Does the name Serena mean anything to anyone?
Oh, yes.
For example.
Of course.
And so talk about I can't say that word. Say it for me.
Verisimilitude.
Okay, I almost got it.
The quality of being
That's what
real.
this movie just is wall to wall, that kind of color, and the dialogue is good, and the action is good, and the plotting is good. I give this very, very high marks. And I have to say, in terms of the Kino release, we've got audio commentary, summer of '78 interview with Brolin, who really loved this movie. The Sweet Mariah, which is Julie Carmen, gets an interview, and she's great in the movie. Pandemonium Reflex is an inquest into Sidney J. Fury's Night of the Juggler, and you get to see what happened there. And what happened was Brolin got hurt. I think he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
And they shut the production down until they said they were going to shut it down until he got better. And so Fury walked. He said, well, well, actually, what they tried to do was give Brolin like a crutch. And we're going to have him
walk it off.
But at any rate, Fury left, and then Robert Butler, I believe, is the name of the other director, and he's significant. And it was kind of a bone of contention with Fury. He brought a lot of Fury's technique to the TV show Hill Street Blues, which he was a major director on. That's at least what Fury claims. And he was mostly a TV director. But I felt it was fairly seamless when I watched it. And I think it was...
Max, do you know what Robert Butler directed?
I think you may tell me now that I should have known.
The original pilot for Star Trek, The Cage.
Ooh. So, in other words, a superior TV director, Robert Butler, a legendary TV director.
You know, it is Star Trek's 60th anniversary, and you know you're living in a great world when NASA recognizes Star Trek and does a better job of honoring Star Trek than Star Trek itself.
You're not looking for an argument on that one, are you?
No.
Because you know how I feel.
I know.
Anyway, I love this movie. It was a great discovery for me. And I went out and bought the box set. I had not bought the Sidney J. Fury box set from Imprint. I immediately ordered that after I saw this movie. Did you find the movie seamless, Rob? And
I did.
I didn't know about the change in directors
No,
after I've seen the bonus features.
Well, the reason why it could show, if it did show, would be Fury made sure that it was shot in chronological order. So he shot it, which is very unusual, as you know, in movies.
Yeah.
And part of that was because he's moving across the city, but he did it chronologically. And so when the guy took over for him, and you're just trying to make me feel bad.
Look at that, dude. Come on. It's
What does that have that Kino doesn't have?
Well, it's got, first of all, let's see. Well, it's got a hard box. It's really, dude, it's awesome. Then it has, of course, you got the original, and then it's got another alternate sleeve. You know, it's got an incredible booklet with James Brolin on the making of the film. Probably getting in. Look at that. It's text heavy, like you like.
Yeah, okay. All right. Rub it in. But I can tell you something that the Kino release has that release doesn't have.
What's that?
A high price. I mean, the Kino is what, like $20 or something?
Yeah, and look. To be fair, I saw this movie because Kino sent it to me. You know, and people were talking about it. I bought this because I saw the Kino version.
That's nice.
And so
it deserved a better, bigger edition.
By the way, Max, hang on, where is it? I did give you proper. I gave you mad props for this. By the way,
did you?
Yeah, already.
Keith and I did one of those.
I know. Just saying, but I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'd like to see the rest of it. Kino sent that to me, so I'm gonna watch the rest of it.
By the way, how great? Can we just wax rhapsodic about that last Kino box that had Stone Cold in 4K in it? Come on, man.
Yeah,
you got the original Thief of Baghdad and Stone Cold in 4K. That's what Kino does. Kino takes all of cinematic history and puts it into a box of wonder.
And makes some very unusual double features possible.
Oh my God. And by the way, they're always having sales. If you go to Kino Lorber, they're 4K. They've rated the Paramount. They care more about the Paramount catalog than Paramount ever would. Paramount's trying to steal Warner Brothers and Bogart Warner Brothers with Saudi money. And it's like, guys, why don't you pay attention to your own catalog? Why don't you do that? Why'd I have to go to like Europe to get the Great Chinatown box set?
Speaking
Kino gave us 2 Jakes. You didn't.
Speaking of Paramount, thanks to cinematographer, I can't say that either.
Cinematograph.
Cinematograph. All right. I had a stroke once, so cut me some slack. Yes, Badge 373. This is a very good double feature with Night of the Juggler. It's not as good, but I would argue that very few films are really better than Night of the Juggler. But this is a pretty solid crime movie, and Duvall is outrageously good in this movie. It is another one of these movies shot all over New York and just great locations. Now, the director is Howard W. Koch, who was a celebrated producer. He did, among other things, Manchurian Candidate. But mostly he was a TV director, sometimes writer, and he does a really good job on this. It's not the kind of job that someone like Sidney J. Fury would bring, but it's a really good job. It's written by Pete Hamill. I am not a fan of Hamill's fiction, but he was a major New York columnist and editor, and I'm really one of those guys that just, I should say, I don't want to say reeked New York. Maybe that's unkind, but but he definitely was a New York guy, and that was probably a smart hire. The movie is loosely based on Eddie Egan's life. Egan being the cop who the French Connection case, the book and the movie were based on his case. And Egan was a consultant on this movie, much as he'd been a consultant on the French Connection. And he had a little bit of an acting career that grew out of the French Connection. And he's in this movie. He kind of plays, I'll bring, this will be this week's Spillane reference. He is Pat Chambers to Duvall's Mike Hammer. In other words, he's the cop friend. He's the cop who has the scene about every 15, 20 minutes of, oh, let us do it. We can do it. We can do the job. We don't get yourself in trouble. And he's actually not carrying a badge for a movie called Badge 3. What is the number? 373. He's suspended almost immediately at the beginning of the movie and is basically a private eye through the whole movie. The third act of this movie is a little sketchy. Some very kind of unfortunate, predictable things happen, but it's a fun ride. It's a lot of action. It really does move like a freight train. One of the interesting things about it to me is how uncensored as to the main character's racism this film is. Now, there was a little bit of that in the French Connection, and you often see the Gene Hackman character described as something of a racist. Is that fair?
Sure.
Rob,
yeah.
You know that movie.
Yeah.
But Duvall leans into it, and they never let the lead heroic character. Now, and I think he was leaning into it not because he was a racist. I'm sure Duvall wasn't, but he was leaning into what he thought was authentic. That these were the attitudes that were on the street in this. And when was that movie? When did that movie come out? Let me just see here.
Which one? French Connection?
Badge 373.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it came out early 70s, like 73. And I think he was trying to reflect, how some of these cops talked and viewed. And we're just very, very loose with ethnic slurs. And it isn't always that much of a, I mean, that's just what he calls people. Doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't like them or, so it's interesting that it never happened today. And it gives it an uncomfortable but interesting feeling to see him behaving that way. Henry Darrow is very good in that movie too. He's an actor I think is underrated. And Verna Bloom is a really interesting actress, and she's in it too. So this is another, and it has a box. You're not the only person that buys box sets,
Hey man,
Nice one.
hot boxes are something I've loved since I was 13, but I've got a lot of cinematograph box sets. They're good.
I recommend warm boxes, but we can discuss that later.
Well, that's happening in the summer when I don't have a split air conditioner in here. All my box sets get hot.
But this has, this is one of these books. It's a book with is this a media book, Dieter? Is this what you call a media book?
No, the media book contains the disc in itself,
Yeah.
But
So
I have to say, Cinematograph, I mean, that's it's a Vinegar Syndrome partner label, or it's part of them. They do a great job. Those Cinematograph releases are incredible. They really do an amazing job with them.
I've said in here a number of times that I don't buy the upper end stuff unless it's a movie I really love. If I like the movie, I'm going to buy a box that these guys put out.
Yeah,
'Cause
but the
job
thing
they
is,
do-
sometimes, I mean, I've never even, until this box came out, I'd never heard of this movie.
I saw it in the theater. Now this is no, I saw this one in the theater.
Yeah, I just had never heard of it.
And it is a very, very Spillane kind of movie. And
Yeah.
Egan and Spillane were friends, and Egan liked to think that he was like Mike Hammer in reality. And I think that Egan appeared sometimes on the Stacy Keach Mike Hammer show. So
Sure.
there is a connection. Now, I've got a couple of criterions in the recent sale. One of them is a French film called Classe Tour. I don't know what the hell I don't know how the hell to say this. Classe Tour.
Classe tout risqué?
Yeah, but you know what? It sounds so pretentious and
Classe
wonderful.
tout risqué? But it makes
It
us
means-
sound much smarter if we just pretend we know how to speak French.
Well,
Less to risk.
it shows you that it's called the big risk. That's what it means. The big risk. So it's not that classy. I did not love this movie. I will tell you that it looks fine. It's a 4K. Criterion only picks stuff that they deem important. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with some foreign films. I found this. It's a story of a guy who's has a family, but was a career criminal,
Sure.
kind of a lower level mob boss, tries to come back to society. And
Right.
there's a narration that makes it sound like it's a true story, which it isn't. And this guy, immediately as he's coming back to the real world to try to change his ways and settle down with his family, the first thing he and his best friend do, they're hardly off the train, is pull a robbery of a courier and
Right.
steal a bunch of money. And then the guy manages to get his wife killed and his kids endangered, and it's all very flat. Here's the thing. I don't think any one of us feel that a protagonist has to be sympathetic,
No.
but I do think they have to be interesting. And this is a very, very cool, even cold movie. Not a lot of action. So while if this is your thing, you're going to have a really, really good time. But I didn't like the idea that at the end of the movie, they're building toward kind of a climax, and then the main character's walking down the street and a voiceover comes in and tells you that he got killed in a couple of months. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
If this is now, this is not, so I guess this is kind of a film noir. I guess it's a film noir when you get your wife killed. I haven't
Sure.
checked with Barb about that. This is a Western.
One of the great Westerns of all time.
This is a fantastic Western. And it's a 4K. It looks great. And you really can see, and I mentioned Barb, when we watched this, she talked about the fact that the nuances in Ford's performance, in his expressions, which are subtle, tell you
Yeah.
things that a casual viewing of this on an old VHS tape or something, or even the Blu-ray, just don't convey, because Ford is the bad guy in this,
Right.
and he's the guy that he's the prisoner that this innocent kind of farmer rancher has been roped into delivering to the to the train to go to the prison, and Ford has a gang that's going to try to spring him. It's an obvious take on High Noon, but this is kind of a better movie than High Noon. The character portrayal of the farmer, or the rancher, I should say, and Ford, which is a Faustian kind of thing. He's trying to tempt this guy. He starts small and it's up to something like $10,000. Do you know what $10,000 would have been in the Old West? I mean,
Oh, a
A
lot of money.
it would have been a lot of money. Um, it looks great. Delmer Davis was the director. He was a journeyman director. Did a lot of good things all over. Not a genre specialist, although he did a couple of westerns with Ford, and I think Ford really liked to play the western roles. And he has. If you look at the list of his movies, he almost is like in there with Randolph Scott and some of these people of having a preponderance of western choices that he's made.
Yeah.
And one of the choices he made, which makes this, I think, one of his best movies, is he was offered the sympathetic part. Here we're back to sympathy and interesting, right? He was offered the rancher part, which is essentially the lead. He's the good guy.
Yeah.
He said, "No, I want to play the bad guy. That's the part I want to play because that's the good role." And he was so right. And you see him do despicable things, but you also hear his rationalization for it. And in his mind, he's not a bad guy, which I always think is the most interesting kind of bad guy, when they overtly don't accept that they are the bad guy. And it's great. It's a great movie. If you've never seen this, I envy you, because you've got the chance to have one of the great experiences with classic American Westerns.
Well,
So that's what I got for you, gentlemen.
That's fantastic. This works out really well because
I should have mentioned. It's based on, maybe you said this, Rob. It's based on an Elmore Leonard short story.
I did not.
And of course, Elmore Leonard's a major crime writer, and he started out writing westerns, and he was Leonard was a pro. So when the Western book market went soft, he just switched, because he didn't see much difference between a Western and a crime story. I mean, they're basically, almost all Westerns are crime stories. And then he became this immensely popular, acclaimed, and he was a nice man, by the way, writer. And he felt that 3:10 to Yuma was probably the best, one of the couple of best movies that were made from his work. And he had some good movies made from his work.
Totally. Yeah.
So so there is a noir connection, and I would say that 3:10 to Yuma is a noir Western, and it has some overtly noir motifs visually, like blinds through the, casting shadows and all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't have loved it more revisiting this, and one of my favorite actors, I would say.
I would agree with that.
Awesome. Now, what about the remake, Max? Considering
well, Leonard didn't
comparison.
like the remake, and I didn't either. I thought it was I don't remember it vividly. I just remember being excited about going to it and feeling it was very overblown. In the way that action films don't understand that the action only works if there's good, quieter stuff in between the action scenes.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood trait that I don't much go for.
Danzig 1979 says there is a new To Live and Die in LA steelbook coming soon, which I've seen.
Really?
I'll have to get it. Yeah, I gotta get. I mean, 200 Watt Studio says I love the opening act of The Big Risk.
Yeah, it's but how about the second and third act?
There's always more than just the opening.
Stubble McShave sends in another tip, and Stubble says, when I watched Epic a few weeks ago, that's the Elvis concert film, there was one thing that made me think of you, Rob. During a show when Elvis is talking to the audience, there's a feedback sound in the microphone. He pauses, looks up, and says, "Yes, Kirk?" I love that. So again, I have not seen Epic, but I want to, and it's I'm sure it is most excellent. Now, gents, I wanted to tell everybody this is something I can announce. I don't know if anyone's going to be that interested, but so
For those of you who don't know, up until the mid-'80s, all movie posters and lobby cards, all movie ad material was created by a company called the National Screen Service Corporation. And if you ever look at an old movie poster, at the bottom of every poster, it says National Screen Service Corporation, or on the corner it says NSS and gives you a number. And there were 5 National Screen Service outlets throughout the United States. And starting in about 1984, the studios started taking back all of their marketing materials, and they decided to market everything themselves, each individual studio. And the National Screen Service Corporation, after decades, went away. I have a friend who worked at the National Screen Service Corporation, their outlet in Seattle. And when they closed it, he absconded with a lot of stuff.
A lot of materials.
So-
Liberated it.
Liberated. So one sheets, which are normal movie posters, which are 27 by 41. They later became 26 by 40 when they took away the white border. The studios did that. And they were always folded down the middle in 1, 2, and 3. So those posters are always folded, and they were printed on paper. There were also other sizes, like inserts, which were half one sheet size, and they're on heavy cardstock. There were 40 by 60s, which are much bigger than one sheets. They were also printed on heavy cardstock, and they were not folded. There were what were called lobby cards, and lobby cards which you see recreated in a lot of discs, but lobby cards were 14 by 17, rectangular, and there were 8 of them in sets. My friend, who I've known for over 40 years, I have said to him since I first met him in the early 80s, we got to sell this stuff, dude. We got to sell it. We got to, come on. What do you, he is now much older than me. He's going to be 75 years old. I have been after him for 40 fucking years because the stuff that he has, there is amazing. Now, anybody nowadays, original movie poster stuff is not as the kids don't love it as much as Mondo or Vice Press, and I get it. But I'm still an old school, Max, I'm sure you are too, old school movie poster guy. Well, I've convinced him, finally. He says, okay. I said, look, we can sell some of this stuff. He's got about 700 pieces. And when I say pieces, one piece would be an entire lobby card set for movies all the way back to the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And he finally agreed to give them to me to help save the Robservatory, to do whatever I need. You know, so what I'm going to do is I have to go get it. I don't even know what he has. I remember it from 40 years ago. There were things I'm like, oh, shit, I want this. I want Bond, Star Wars, Hitchcock. I mean, and by the way, stuff in condition you can't, it's never come to auction. I mean, this stuff's insane. Except the one thing. He has an Alfred Hitchcock Rear Window, 40 by 60, that he sat by his window for 40 fucking years, and it's totally fucking faded. I'm like, bro. What?
Can happen.
Rob,
Anyway.
I have a suggestion. This is going to be a very long list. I think that before you send it to anyone else, Dieter and I should have a look at it just to proofread it for you.
Okay. I'm willing to do that. But what I'm going to do is I've partnered up with a very reputable eBay seller who I'm big fans of. And I'm going to do this. I'm going up on the 24th of April to Seattle to acquire this collection. And it is going to be for the specific purpose of distributing it to anybody. I'm going to give members of this channel first dibs. No auction, just we'll have fixed prices of stuff that's not going to be, it's not going to break the bank or anything, specifically for members of this channel. And I'm going to give everybody first shot at stuff you might want. I mean, look, the funny thing about it is when I was a kid, movie posters were a big deal. Original movie poster stuff. Nowadays, not so much. But this collection of stuff is it's a one-of-a-kind acquisition. It is being gifted to me for the express purpose of making sure that I can, because I owe people money. for the house and for the Tango Shalom and for not Tango Shalom but for True Noir. And so rather than borrow money, I have to work for it, which is fine. But this collection is something I've been after for over 40 years. And it is being bequeathed to me. And it's so funny because my friend, who's now turning 75, he texted me last night. He goes, I've been gathering up this stuff. I've been packing up for you. He goes, there's a lot of good stuff in here that I forgot how good this collection was because I haven't looked at it. But you remembered. And he goes, I think there's a lot of stuff you're going to want to keep. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be dead soon too. No, this is a one-of-a-kind opportunity, one-of-a-kind collection to acquire actual, real. Now, these are not like movie theater used. These are virgin. Now, of course, it's paper products, and some of them are 70 years old. But there's unused, as mint as they could be. Other things have gone to auction. It's going to be an incredible experience. It's going to take me a while to figure it out, but I'm going to have I'm going to organize it by genre stuff. But for my birthday, I want to launch this on May 15th. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to allow the members to have first look at any of this stuff. It's incredible. And if you ever wanted to have, like in my movie room, if you look at the picture I posted on Instagram, I have a poster of Dr. No on my wall. That is an original National Screen Service Corporation poster from 1962. That is an original. And when I get my, because one sheets are folded, what I do is I have them linen backed. I have them mounted museum quality linen and then frame them so they don't puff out. That's what a lot of people do. So that Dr. No is under UV plexiglass, and it's an original one sheet from the National Screen Service Corporation. And there might be posters like that available. So if you're interested, it's going to be quite the experience. I can't wait. Very excited. And, most people, hey, if you're not interested, you don't have to be. But before I auction them off, I'm going to give the members of this channel first dibs to take a look.
So you need a hammer up, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I'm not going to do that because I want, you know what? I don't want to soak anybody. I mean, there's a lot of really rare things that you just can't get, that especially in this condition. So, and it's something I've personally been after him for 40 years. So he finally decided to say, okay,
It
So-
could be my
so
my first virgin.
yeah, yeah.
So Robbie will go, I sell this. Oh, I keep it to myself.
Well, that's
I
the big
keep it to
problem.
myself.
There's so much shit that I want to, like, especially 40 by 60s. I mean, I'm thinking Bond 40 by 60s. I'm like, I don't even know what's there.
Itzy.
It was the lobby card sets that I remember that blew me away 40 years ago. I'm looking through these because it's very hard to find all 8 lobby cards. But when you had them collected before they were ever sent out, I mean, these are lobby card sets, all 8 of them. It's, and look, kids today would rather buy Mondo or Vice Press. Look, I buy Vice Press Star Trek posters. They're great. Amazing. But this stuff is original. These were printed for the films. I mean, Warner Brothers last year decided to throw everything out. They had all this stuff, and they brought all of it out and put it on a soundstage floor and threw it all away, or said you can take whatever you want. George Feltenstein called me and he goes, Rob, I got you. You know what he got me? Actually, hang on. Well, I can't reach it. I can't get to it. He got me 2 from the National Screen Service Corporation, an insert and what's called a half sheet, which is half of a one sheet, for Wild Wild Planet from 1965. And they are mint. I mean, sure, they're paper that's from 1965, so it's yellowed on the edges and all that, but unbelievable. So look out for that. That's coming, and I will make members of the channel, you can have first dibs, but it's going to take me a while. I'm going to break it down by genre and decade and year and all that, and we'll see what we have, because I think there's like 200 one sheets, 300 lobby card sets. I don't know how many inserts in 40 by 60s. It's insane. So most people might not be interested.
I don't know.
But these are originals.
I'm gobsmacked. I'm just like,
dude,
it's amazing.
the shit he has, it's insane. Insane. And it's from the actual company that printed the posters, and they were never used. So for those of you who don't know, if you look at a movie poster, you can see on the bottom, it all says property of national screen. Then there's a lot number and everything. And it says either return or destroy after use. These are posters that were never sent out. So
Rob, let's say you keep 10 of these because you've got room to hang 10 of them or whatever. Would you also have the backing put onto them?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because they're all folded, and they can all be like, if you know anything about real movie poster collections, I'll tell you something. The person that I've ever the place that I've been to, the best movie poster collection I've ever seen in my life, only because I love foreign film posters, believe it or not, is Leonardo DiCaprio. He has a production company called Appian Way, and I had a few meetings there. They were interested in a project of mine 15 years ago, and so I went to that office a lot. And his poster collection, and he had all originals from all around the world, insane. And they had like the whole floor of a building, and it was all around. His poster collection, the choices that he made and the posters that he bought were unbelievable. Unbelievable. But they were all foreign.
Is that those Italian posters that had the kind of painted images?
Yeah, Italian, French, all around the world. And he had
amazing.
like absolutely impeccable. And these are all, like when you see the Robert McGinnis Bond posters and things like that, there's just things that you can't. The problem is, what's interesting is when I started collecting real movie posters in the wake of Star Wars. When I started, I saw, I went onto eBay. Somebody is selling the actual painted artwork of Boris Vallejo. Boris Vallejo painted the art of Ed Harris on a motorcycle from the movie Knight Riders. And that was one of my favorite movie posters. It was Boris's paintings, and it said the games, the romance, the spirit, Camelot is a state of mind. I had that poster on my wall from the time it came out to the time I moved to California. I saw the actual artwork for Knight Riders, the artwork of that poster. The guy wants $1 million for it. And if I had $1 million, I would have been like, click.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So, and like, Bob Peake art for Star Trek The Motion Picture or Matthew Peake's art for Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, all that original artwork is great, but to get original one sheets, and I'll break it down like science fiction, horror, musical, drama, whatever, because I don't really know what Craig has. All I know is I'm like, oh, Planet of the Apes, original. I mean, the shit he had was insane, but I'm going on a 40-year. Anyway, I have to go because we're having a open house right now, and I have to leave and take my 4 dogs with me, which I did yesterday. We had a great time. I've been taking them out. This will be the 12th open house that I've taken them out on, so I must go, but look out for that. And I'm going to CinemaCon. Thank you all for being here on Saturday. I'll be reporting on the John Campea show from CinemaCon beginning on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be in Vegas. It'll be very interesting, but I am going to do a Robservations tonight, catch up on viewer letters, and it'll be a lot of fun.
So are we going with you, Rob?
No. You can go with me now. I could I could make a live stream. You know what? I could just, what would be really funny? I should just start a live stream with my dog. Seeing 4 dogs in my car is fucking hilarious. It's totally hilarious.
Well, I will just wish you a good day and say how nice it is to see Dieter again.
Thank you.
I haven't had any contact with him for a couple of weeks, and it's one of my favorite people. So thank you, guys.
All right.
And
Okay.
I'm out.
Happy house, open house.
Thank you all, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.